Hello and good morning, everybody. Welcome to Bill Gray Legion Stadium at Champion Car Wash Field in beautiful Roseburg, Oregon. It is time once again for Doc Stewart's American Legion Baseball here on The Score. It's great to be with you, everybody. I'm Joey Kieran. Along with me today, Brian Prowitz will be joining us here in the booth as we make our way through the Roseburg Disposal pregame show. So make sure you stick around with us here as we count down to first pitch. Today, the Doc Stewarts are welcoming in the Eugene Challengers for an Area 4 doubleheader. The team's playing a little early. We've got the half shell going on tonight, so they want to make sure that there's not a traffic jam trying to get to the stadium. So they're playing a little early today. Come on out and join us for some lunchtime baseball here at the stadium. Doc Stewart's coming off of a split last night against the Medford Mustangs, winning Game 1 of that league doubleheader, but then dropping Game 2. Now the Docs will look to see if they can pick up at least one more or possibly two more wins in Area 4 as they are looking to try and remain amongst the top three in the league standings and hopefully earn themselves a spot in the postseason. We've got a lot to get to here on the Roseburg Disposal pregame show, and we will be talking with head coach Tim Sestair here in just a little bit. Roseburg Disposal, you can let them make the run to the dump for you. Give them a call at 673-7122. We've got beautiful weather, and we've got a great couple of teams getting ready to square off in this one, a great rivalry matchup. Medford and Eugene, whenever they come to town, you know it's going to be a good time out at the ballpark. We'll see what today has in store for us here as we get ready for this one. Brian Prowitz joining me here in the booth. And, Brian, looking forward to having you back. You joined us when Fairfield was here in town, and now we get a chance to have you in for air. You've seen a lot of these matchups, Eugene and Roseburg, back in the day when you were calling Doc's baseball, and it's always a pretty good rivalry matchup between the two programs.
Yeah, you never can tell what's going to happen, and usually what it means is you see some really great pitching. Usually these teams bring some of the top talent in the state of Oregon, and so I would say that this time around, as I've gotten a little bit older, I can appreciate more the other teams' talent as they bring. Obviously, we're rooting for the Docs. We want to see them do well, and the kids that are wearing the Roseburg gear, but it's also really fun to see the talent that the other cities have, and then especially when you combine and take the best players from the region and put them on one team. I mean, it's what summertime baseball is really all about.
Yeah, and they've consolidated a little bit up there in the Eugene, Springfield, and surrounding areas, so they've got a lot of great talent. We saw that in effect the first time the two teams met. The Docs would win 7-4 in Game 1, but 7-1 the final in Game 2 as Eugene would battle back and earn a split on their home field. Now the Docs, after splitting last night against Medford, they'll look to see if they can find a way to sweep here at home and defend their home court. We are looking forward to heading to Eugene the rest of the week for the Papa's Pizza tournament hosted by the Eugene Challengers at Sweet Johnson Stadium and at the Hamlin Sports Complex up there. That'll be coming up the rest of the week. Those will be non-league tournament games. We'll have these league ones, though, coming up for you first. We'll go ahead and take our first 2-minute break here in the pregame show, and when we come back, we're going to get a chance to catch up with head coach Tim Sestair and find out his thoughts on yesterday's games against Medford, the fact that they had a late one last night and an early one coming up here today. A lot of things to get into with Coach Tim Sestair. That's coming up next as we continue on with the Roseburg Disposal pregame show on 541radio.com and on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
For over 100 years, Douglas County Farmers Co-op has been serving the needs of farmers, ranchers, and homeowners throughout Southern Oregon. Here, everyone is welcome. When you shop with us, you can expect good people, good products, and good advice. No membership needed. Just bring yourself, and we'll provide the expertise and products you need to tackle your next project. Douglas County Farmers Co-op, where everyone is welcome to shop.
When the first Cascade branch opened in 1948, things were a lot different here. The fact they're still here says a lot about the way they do business.
Staying in business for 75 years requires the cooperation of generations. It's the desire to learn and grow with your community.
My account number is only 5 digits long. What that tells me is that this is a local credit union.
Cascade Community Credit Union would like to thank you for 75 years of growth and support here in Douglas County.
Back here with more of our Roseburg Disposal pregame show. You can let them make the run to the dump for you. Give them a call at 673-7122. We are getting ready for game one of an afternoon matinee doubleheader for the Doc Stewarts taking on the Eugene Challengers here today. And we get a chance to catch up with Coach Tim Sestair as we make our way towards first pitch. Coach, well, the weather's much nicer since the last time I saw you up at Clackamas, where we dealt with rain all weekend. That was fun. You guys have played a lot of baseball, and we're only about halfway through this hot stretch here. How are guys doing? How are you doing? This is summer baseball at its finest right here.
Yeah, it's a grind. You know, a lot of games in a row. You know, some toughness meters, some mental toughness will definitely be showing this today and the rest of our week here. So, long night last night, so hopefully we're ready to gear it right back up for today.
Yeah, that was that's a good point on that. You guys played late last night, and I think normally this would be a late one, but I know Half Shell probably dictated a little bit of the schedule for you guys to get this one started early. So, you know, what was kind of after last night's action, the message to the guys, make sure that they're ready to go for today?
Yeah, get home and get some rest, right? I mean, we've been kind of going about this the previous week with tournament schedule, things like that. But, yeah, long night makes for a short morning and right back at it. So taking care of your bodies, hydration, all those things are important.
That said, guys look like they followed directions last night as they showed up to the park to here today.
Hey, they're here. They're all here, right? That's step one, and step two is just being tough enough to make it through the day. And you know, things need to go our way, and tougher team's going to win.
Yeah. You know, and I know on the other side, Eugene's, they've played a lot of games as well, so their schedule's been busy, so they're going through it just as much as Doc Stewart's are here at this point in time. Last night, I know, nice start to the game. Game one, how'd you feel, what you guys did well in the opener against Medford?
Tanner Wirtz was phenomenal. Obviously put ourselves in a position. We got after him early, you know, so that was great to see, and see our kids have a lot of great energy, and Daffron for them settled down and made it tough on us. And, you know, the quality of our at-bats kind of went the wrong direction, and Medford being Medford, scratch runs late because they, you know, they know how to win. So the ability to continue to keep scoring and continue to add pressure is something we talk about. Easier said than done, sure, but you got to keep doing it. Doesn't matter who you're playing; it only magnifies against these quality teams. So, and then to find a way to get it done at the end, you know, Paxton getting on base and finding his way to get to second, and Cal with a big hit for us.
Yeah, that was a nice way to finish things off. You know, this matchup against Eugene today, you look back to the first time you guys met them up there, it was kind of similar to what you saw yesterday. Great, you know, confidence-building win in Game 1, and then couldn't quite finish it off in Game 2. You know, that kind of long day at the ballpark with the doubleheader, you know, we talk about that all the time, but is there anything more than just getting blue in the face saying the same thing over and over and you can do?
We talk about it a lot in the springtime, right? That's kind of our every Saturday doubleheader, and you know, the tougher, the more focused team find a way to win Game 2 if you know you can find a way to get Game 1, and that's going to be the same topic of today. You know, Game 1's the most important because it's our next one, and get quality pitching, and we got to be able to play catch and not give teams extra outs, and obviously timely hitting. You know, that's just the game in general. But we got to rise to the occasion and we're here. So we might as well find a way to get it done.
You guys were back at home for the first time in 2 weeks yesterday. You guys get to be at home back-to-back days. Maybe, being able to short drive to the ballpark, getting mentally ready for today. Hopefully, the home confines will be good to you guys.
Yeah, it's huge to be home. It's huge to be in your own beds and all those things. And, short travel to the yard, right? All that stuff is a big deal. So taking care of themselves is definitely something we're talking about. They're also kids, so are they going to bed? Are they staying up? I mean, so we're about to find out.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this will be a good place to get right and continue on as this season goes on. The grind has been real here for the Doc Stewarts. Coach, appreciate all the time here in the pregame.
Thanks, Joey.
That is Coach Tim Sester joining us here in the Roseburg Disposal pregame show. Again, let them make the run to the dump for you. Give them a call at 673-7122. Lineup cards have been exchanged at home plate. We're getting close to this one getting underway, looking at 81 degrees right now. Sunshine overhead, and as you might have picked up there in our interview, it is a little breezy out there today, as my phone is telling me 9-mile-per-hour winds, but it looks like things are maybe picking up from time to time a little bit more than that. The American flag in center field is it's definitely active out there. It was blowing in at the moment, and we'll definitely circle here at Champion Car Wash Field. They're going to be announcing the teams down on the field here for a moment, and then we will have the national anthem for you as we get ready for all of that. We will just have a moment here. Brian Prowitz joining us in the booth. Brian, I don't know how the timing lined up, but did you do any broadcasting with Tim Sester's teams back in the day?
Not too much. He was usually an assistant coach around baseball or football at Roseburg High School, but he's been in this a long time. He's coached a lot of levels of baseball. He knows these kids really well. I really like what he talked about, like, hey, this is the grind. I mean, this is summer baseball, and the late night last night, the disappointing finish to that doubleheader, the early turnaround today, it's what you face in tournaments. It's what you face in just various scenarios, and the grind is part of what makes this so much fun, even though it's really hard. I don't know. When I heard him talking about, hey, we showed up at the field today. What more can I ask the guys to do right now? And the toughest team is going to prevail. And I don't know that Eugene has had it quite as hard maybe in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like anybody's going to cry anybody a river. But that's just the game. It's just baseball, and you got to be tough. I like what he talked about with the quality at-bats. I think that's something I'm going to watch today, is just talking about, let's just limit the easy outs. These, like an early swing and a little dribbler on the infield. If you roll over a slider or something, going to have to shake it off. So we'll see. And, if the Docs come out and they just aren't sharp and they're not playing well because the hangover from last night, what do you do? Well, at the end of the doubleheader, you pack all your stuff up, you put it on the bus, and you go home and you get ready for the next thing.
Yeah.
So it's that's just the nature of the game. But he's pretty honest about that, and I think his expectations for these guys basically be, you better go out there and gut up and be tough and play hard and pay attention and do your best.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
The message a lot this year has been playing for your teammate, playing for your brother out there, and looking to try and make the plays so that you're supporting your team. This Docs team, it would be understandable, maybe a little weary. They had not played a home game for 2 weeks. Monday, yesterday, their doubleheader against Medford were their first home games in a 2-week span. They also, yesterday was games 8 and 9 in a 6-day period, so they have definitely been on it. For Eugene, they have not played since Saturday, so a couple of days off. They did win a pair of games against the Post 58 Crushers, 4-1 and 6-1 in a doubleheader there in Eugene at Swede Johnson Stadium. So we'll see. Maybe that rest helping out. Now, Eugene has done road trips to Idaho. They've been on the road. They have done some good stuff, and they've also played 29 games already this year. So they have been very active as well. We're going to get to our final break here, but before we take that 2-minute break, let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Doc Stewart's Baseball here on The Score. Well, they have announced the Doc starters as well as the reserves. The Eugene's out there as well. It's just about time to get this one underway. Let's take a 2-minute timeout. We'll come back with your starting lineups for Game 1 of today's doubleheader here on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
To expand your portfolio? Consolidate your investments with Palm Wealth Management. Our trusted team makes it easy to diversify and track your investments. Let Palm Wealth Management coordinate your financial strategy. Call Palm Wealth Management today.
Successful companies have a very important secret. Good advertising works and makes them money. That's why your business should contact Lotus Media Group. Let us help you cash in with multimedia advertising. Multiple touches from Douglas County's only Google certified partner and most effective advertising platform. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen. LotusMediaGroupLLC.com.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
When it comes to finances, it can be hard to know what's in your best interest. Experience the strength of advice at Palm Wealth Management. From education and estate planning to retirement and the unexpected, we can help. Call Palm Wealth Management.
Welcome you back here to Champion Car Wash Field in Roseburg, Oregon. Let's go ahead and introduce today's starting lineup. We'll start off with the batting lineup for the Eugene Challengers. And leading off will be...
Landon Lay, Joey, the center fielder, batting first, followed by shortstop Brock Johnson, and then left fielder Grady Saunders. For the Challengers, a cleanup hitter, the DH Brady Bousquet. Right fielder Kyle Miller bats fifth, followed by first baseman Connor Clift, then second baseman Jalen Riddle, the catcher Caden Gould batting eighth, and third baseman Lucas Wheeling batting ninth. Lay, Johnson, and Saunders, Bousquet, Miller, and Clift, Riddle, Gould, and Wheeling for the visiting Challengers.
And we'll take a look at the Doc Stewart's defense here in the top of the first inning. Behind the plate will be Cal Robbins catching out at first base. Danner Wirtz at second base. Logan Anderson on the left side of the diamond. Daniel Withers at third and Paxton Burke at short. In the outfield from left to right, it's Fletcher Coleman, Dane St. Clair, and Taj Flora. They will look to support their starting pitcher here today. That is Jake Johnson that is on the mound. He has not thrown much this summer with the Docs. He's been dealing with a little bit of arm soreness after a hefty load during the spring season with the Roseburg Indians. So far with the Doc Stewarts, Jake, 1 game started, 3 innings of work. He allowed 2 unearned runs on 2 hits, or make that 2 earned runs on 5 hits. Look at the right columns there. No walks, no strikeouts in that appearance. So he will look to try and really get up and going for the summer on the mound for the Doc Stewarts. We get ready for the first pitch, as stepping up to bat will be Landon Lay. And we get things underway. First pitch swinging away, popped it out of play. And that is strike one as we are underway, just about 5 minutes past the noon hour. And there we go. So we're underway. It is a breezy day here in Roseburg, but the sun is shining. The temperature's not too warm. That might be one of the positives to playing earlier in the day for the Docs today. It's a pitch high, a 1-1 count. There's been some burners as of late, playing through a lot of the heat last week. But a couple of weeks ago, we were even playing through rainstorms up in Clackamas. So it's been a mixture of everything this summer. 1-1, Johnson misses a bit upstairs. Jake Johnson was the Southwest Conference Player of the Year this season for the Roseburg Indians. A lot of that doing with his arm, and he will hit the first batter. Landon Lay will find his way on base.
Yeah, got him with a fastball up in the front shoulder there. Johnson trying to get dialed in here a little bit, find the strike zone. He's kind of messing around there with some fastballs that were high and outside, and just trying to get on top of it here.
Maybe a little bit of rust knocking off for the graduate from Roseburg High. Man on at first, looking to bunt. A ball down the third base line. Withers, a soft toss to first, won't get it there in time. Tough angle to try and throw it down the line as he was charging in, and a perfect bunt laid down by shortstop Brock Johnson.
Yeah, it was a bouncer. It really ricocheted off the turf and hung in the air a long time for Withers. By the time he got to it, he kind of was coming at it with a weird angle and couldn't get a lot on the throw. Well done by Johnson.
So that'll put runners at first and second here in the first inning. A hit on the board, and it prompts a visit out to the mound for Cal Robbins to get on the same page with Jake. Cal catching Jake throughout the spring season, along with Amos Bowers, who's in the dugout. Jake at Roseburg this spring, 12 appearances, started 11 games through 69 and 2/3 innings. Had a 9-1 record, 1 save, a 2.31 ERA, 82 strikeouts to just 20 walks. And that is the guy they're hoping he can be here today. Another bunt shown. This one popped up back to the netting for strike one. Up to bat, Grady Saunders.
Kenny Niles and Eugene putting pressure on the Docs defense immediately, especially on Daniel Withers at third base. If they bunt up the third base line, it's going to put the Docs defense in motion to try to cover all the bags.
0-1 pitch, again showing the bunt. And taking high on the fastball. Saunders, a 1-1 count. Grady Saunders, he is one to watch. Surprisingly, only just a junior this last year. He was the 5A pitcher of the year as a sophomore. As a junior, 5A player of the year. Co-player of the year, should be precise with our descriptions. But nonetheless, one of the top baseball players here in the state of Oregon. He's batting third for Eugene and looking to try and really put the screws to the Docs here in the first inning after a leadoff hit by pitch. Got a runner on, and the Docs have not been able to find that first out. Swing and a miss.
Good fastball there from Johnson. Danner Wirtz at first base, protecting against the bunt as well. He's been crashing, but now the defense will back up a little bit, expecting Saunders to continue to swing away.
With 2 strikes against him, nobody out. Runners at first and second. Jake Johnson trying to win the battle for the first out here in the top of the first inning. Nope. He will give it to him. Check swing, tried to pull the barrel back. Saunders does, and will get credit for a hit by pitch. Trying to go on the inside corner once again for Johnson, and it gets away from him.
I groaned a little bit because Saunders turned into the pitch, so he starts his hands, which puts his hands a little bit closer to the strike zone. I think it was in the College World Series they called a guy back because he had moved toward the ball, put his hands near the strike zone. That was just one of those where it's a little bit of a bad luck move there by Jake because that was not that far off. But he hit the batter anyway.
That'll bring up the lefty, Brady Bousquet, who is the DH for the Challengers. He's swinging away, a prime opportunity for Eugene. He swings and misses for strike one. Bases loaded, nobody out. A chance for the Challengers to grab the lead in the first inning. The Docs, though, have been a team that has been well-equipped to make outs at the plate here as of late. Ground ball towards third. It's Withers. He'll throw it to home. They go to first for 2. Not in time. They'll get 1, and they do keep it scoreless here in the first inning. A nice job by Daniel Withers going to the plate to get the force out. Landon Lay is out. Cal Robbins on the dish. Quickly turned to first, but down the line, Bousquet, the lefty, with that slide advantage, able to beat it by a hair.
Just after you mentioned it, Joey, good call there on the 5-2 put out at home plate, almost the double play.
Bases are still loaded, now 1 away. And up to bat will be the 5-hitter, Kyle Miller. Check swing for him. That ball in front of the plate, and it will go foul. And the Docs may be a bit lucky there because Cal didn't know where that ball was. The catcher trying to find it. And if that ball had somehow had enough spin on this turf, could have stayed fair and could have driven in a run.
Yeah, luckily for the Docs, the ball bounced toward foul territory. But you're right, if the spin had been the other way, those runners from Eugene were gone. They were running full speed ahead, and as that ball just sort of floated in the air over Cal Robbins' head.
0-1 pitch. Breaking ball high and inside. Docs, I've been following the action. Knight's been he's had the games for the last about the last week, and I was tuning in, following a lot of that. I can't tell you how many times we heard Docs playing with the infield in and able to cut off runs at home. It was great to see the trend continue to keep this game scoreless as a breaking ball for a strike. So it's been a nice point of emphasis. Unfortunately, that usually means that your team has allowed guys on base. There's traffic out there with less than 2 outs. A ball and 2 strikes to Kyle Miller. The 5-hitter takes a breaking ball high and inside.
Johnson tried to break that one off, and it just kind of slipped out of his hands as he came down off the mound. He looked at his hand like it had betrayed him.
Jake, as mentioned, has been mainly playing first base defensively because of this a little bit of arm soreness, but he threw a bullpen, and they said he looked and felt good yesterday, so they are riding with the guy that they had probably hoped to be their ace this summer. As he misses low and outside, the count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Kyle Miller. A walk would bring in a run with the bases loaded, just 1 away. Challenged him, and Miller got a piece of it. Stays in the battle. Kyle Miller, first-team All-Stater out of Thurston, returning player for this Challengers squad, class of 2025. At least that's what my notes say, but they also say he's a lefty, and that appears to not be accurate. So 3-2 count, and time called by the hitter. This was a mixture of notes that Knight and I had put together, so one of us had gotten that wrong. The 3-2 again, and on it, but just ahead, fouls it down the third base side. Always fun trying to collect information on Legion teams during the summer. It is nearly impossible at times. After 13 years, I feel like I've mined some information and spots to find it regularly. 3-2 again, got him to pop it up. This might be enough to drive in a run. Coming in underneath it, a diving attempt, and he can't make the catch. The throw goes to third, and they're not going to get the out there either. Charging in from left field, Fletcher Coleman ends up going feet first to try and get to that ball. Cannot keep it in the glove, and a run will score for the Challengers. It's 1-0 here in the first.
You talked about the wind. The wind's coming across from left field foul pole to right field foul pole, and Coleman is playing way off the line. So he was running toward the ball that actually was coming toward him with the wind, but it hung up there a long time. I think it surprised him that he even had a play on it at all.
It just kept. First pitch, a strike into Connor Clift, a left-handed batter. Felt like he just kept running and running and running. It's like I felt like that ball was coming down eventually, but took forever.
Then on the infield, nobody was covering at third. There was a play at third. The runners had to hold. So actually a bit of a break there for Eugene.
0-1 pitch outside to the lefty. Connor Clift at first base.
It's going to go starter. As an RBI single to left field, believe it or not.
Yeah.
It's a tweener. What are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
And a long run for Coleman. Not fair to give him an error, I don't think.
Well, it does not a routine play.
Nope.
Yeah, a long way to go. Had to lay out to even get a chance to have it. The unfortunate part was it was in the glove, and he just couldn't squeeze it. Strike across, 1-2 count to Clift. He'll poke one left side, and another run will come in as he finds the gap at short. Coleman will send it back in. 1 run scores, station to station. Brock Johnson scored on the flare by Kyle Miller. Now Grady Saunders comes in to score. 2 runs in here in the first. Still just 1 out, and the bases remain loaded after back-to-back just soft pokes to left field.
Yeah, so far nobody's really ripped one off of Jake. On that one, Clift, who's a lefty, fills the entire batter's box and then steps in as the pitch comes in. That was a pretty good piece of hitting just to go the other way with it right through the hole at short.
3 hits here in the first, 2 hit batters. Jake will catch the top end of the strike zone for an 0-1 count to Jalen Riddle, the second baseman, batting 7th. A graduate of North Bend High School in 2024. Actually spent the 2023 season with the Roseburg Dr. Stewarts. has spent the last this year and last year with Eugene. The 0-1 is high to Riddle, starting at second base here in game one of our doubleheader. Well, they were hoping to see an efficient outing from Jake Johnson, and he has thrown a lot of pitches here in the first inning. The 1-1. Breaking ball misses low. With the arm soreness, they didn't want him to have to throw more than he needed to. They were hoping to get 5 out of him, and well, this might alter the thinking to start out this ball game for Coach Sestaire, pitching coach A.J. Doolittle down there in the dugout. Bases loaded with 1 out. The 2-1 here to Riddle. Swing and a miss.
Jake's around the strike zone now, and he's fooled a couple of hitters, so that's good. Looks like the breaking ball is starting to come in for a strike. I think that's his best pitch right now, though he's also gotten his fastball by guys a couple times. So he's starting to show what he's made of a little bit here.
The 2-2. A grounder towards short. Going to have to try to get the force out at third. They'll get 1, but a run will score. They do get the out, but that was another kind of in-betweener, kind of an impossible situation for Paxton Burke. They're playing for the double play up the middle, and the ball just keeps going towards the third base side of short, and Paxton does the only thing he had a chance to do with it, which is get the out at third. Daniel Withers there to put out Kyle Miller.
Yeah, he just went with the ball. Paxton was running directly at Daniel Withers at third base, so that was an easy play, but the only play for the third run.
So that'll be a fielder's choice RBI for Riddle. It scores Brady Bousquet as the first pitch fouled away by the 8-hitter Caden Gould, the catcher. Runners at first and second. 2 away in the top of the first. Docs will need to get the bats going when they come up to bat in the bottom of the first against Colin Hernandez. Pitch just upstairs, a 1-1 count.
That's just it. He's right on the edge. That pitch could have been a strike. He's so close in so many ways, and so far, nobody's hit the ball hard off of him. Knock on wood.
1-1 count. Catches the inside corner, right above the belt with the fastball. A ball and 2 strikes. Jake needs 1 more to get through things here in the first inning. His 1-2 pitch, and he will bean a third batter in the game.
Hit him on right in the elbow in that spot that
a lot of guys will wear pads nowadays.
Yeah, also that. Thank you, Barry Bonds, for that. But that right on the point of the elbow on that fastball up and in. And again, that wasn't a crazy uncorked wild pitch. It wasn't that far off the plate, but that front elbow, not saying he leaned into it by any stretch, but it just caught him. It's unfortunate. And now Jake's probably thrown 35 pitches to try to get to this point in the order. The 9th hitter everybody's hitting in this first inning for Eugene. But it is only 3-0, and as they talk about things on the mound, kill a little bit of time here and try to settle Jake down.
That and give Gould a moment, shaking out the left arm, rubbing his elbow a little bit. He's in the game, staying in the game. He is the catcher. We'll see. That's his non-throwing arm, presumably.
Yeah.
He batted right-handed, so you would think
he could play with a stump if he needed to.
Should presumably be fine to stay in this game. The 9-hitter Luke Wheeling will be the batter after a visit out to the mound for A.J. Doolittle. Jake trying to find the groove here. As Brian's mentioned, he hasn't necessarily been wild, but 3 hit batters and then just a couple of dink singles to left field have helped drive in 3 runs so far. Bases are loaded once again as the 9-hitter steps in with 2 down. So a nice start for Eugene in game 1 of our doubleheader. Jake will attack the outside corner for strike 1. Luke Wheeling out of North Bend, class of 2025, rounding out the starting 9. Getting a chance to bat here in the first. The 0-1 goes around on a check swing. At third base, Connor Clift. At second, Jalen Riddle. Caden Gould at first. The 0-2 pitch with 2 down. Swing and a miss. Jake will get the strikeout he needed to finish things off here in the top of the first. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. For Eugene, they will score 3 and take the early lead after a half inning. Bottom of the first coming up on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
And the starting pitcher, number 9, Colin Hernandez. The designated hitter is in the number 4 spot. Number 30, Brady.
Head to the bottom of the first. It's 3-0 Eugene. Let's take a look at today's starting lineup for the Roseburg Doc Stewarts.
All right, Joey leading off will be the shortstop Paxton Burke, followed by second baseman Logan Anderson, and then the catcher Cal Robbins. In the cleanup spot, Daniel Withers playing third base. Then it'll be Taj Flora out of right field batting fifth. Dane St. Clair, the center fielder, in the 6th slot. Jake Johnson will hit for himself and bat 7th. Danner Wirtz, the first baseman, in the 8th slot. And then in left fielder, Fletcher Coleman batting 9th for the Docs. Burke, Anderson, and Robbins. Withers, Flora, St. Clair, Johnson, Wirtz, and Coleman.
Taking a look at the defense, Caden Gould behind the plate here in Game 1. Connor Clift out at first. Jalen Riddle at second. On the left side, Lucas Wheeling at third. Brock Johnson is short. In the outfield from left to right, Grady Saunders, Landon Lay, and Kyle Miller, your starting defense for the Challengers. They will look to support their starting pitcher. It's lefty Colin Hernandez. Don't have season numbers on him, but I can tell you he was really good against Roseburg the first time the two teams met. A 7-1 victory for the Challengers. He pitched 5 1/3 innings. He allowed 1 unearned run on 1 hit, had 1 walk and 10 strikeouts in that first meeting against the Docs. The lefty Hernandez will face Paxton Burke, swinging away at the first pitch, fouls it back for strike 1, and we're underway in the bottom of the first.
Joey, the Docs are really lucky to be down 3, and if you're Eugene and Coach Kenny Hines, you're probably wishing you would have gotten a couple more out of that big first inning.
Had the bases loaded with nobody out early and had the bases loaded throughout much of that top half of the first. Pitch inside to Paxton Burke. Burke, a switch hitter, will bat from the right side of the plate against the lefty. The 1-1. Pokes out one right side and out of play. Paxton Burke for the Doc Stewarts, batting .318 on the summer. A 1-1 count to the leadoff man. Low and inside. For those that are watching with us online at 541radio.com or on our YouTube channel, 1490 The Score on YouTube, we appreciate that. It is brought to you by the Cow Creek Tribe. We are working to get our cameras all back up and running. As a line drive back up the middle will go by Hernandez. An outreach glove could not get any leather on it, and that's a nice way to get things started for the Docs. A base hit back up the middle for Paxton Burke. It's the first hit of the game for the Docs, brought to you by MSK True Value. Make sure that your summer projects are a hit with a stop by the MSK family of stores in Myrtle Creek and Tri-City.
I'm so glad that Paxton ripped that ball right back through the middle. That's the first hard hit ball yet today. And it says, we're not just going to roll over on you, Eugene. We're here to fight.
Logan Anderson stands in. He takes a fastball in the outside corner for strike 1. They did, just so that folks know, they did offset the center field camera for us here in the last week, but we're having issues connecting to it. But when we get that up and running, should have a nice view of the strike zone for everybody. That was the improvement we were hoping to make. So,
are you going to put the little square
over
home plate over the catcher's mitt so we can all argue about the
we
strike
can all
zone?
sit around and yell at the TV screen about, that was a ball, that was a strike. We'll let you use your imagination. A pitch low and inside, gets by Gould, and running on the pitch was Burke. He was going immediately, and that pitch in the dirt means no throw down to second base. And Paxton Burke, who scored the game-winning run in Game 1 last night against Medford, after moving himself into scoring position, scored on a single by Cal Robbins. He'll put himself into scoring position here as the Docs look to overcome a 3-0 deficit.
Yeah, it's just being aggressive. I love it, especially with the way that top of the first went.
Those watching online, I also have corrected our scoreboard. It's 3-0, not 2-0. There we go. So 2 balls and a strike to Logan Anderson, the second baseman. I'll look back to second there for Hernandez. Anderson coming into the day, batting .356 on the season. The lefty Hernandez sets and will deliver. And misses high.
So with Paxton Burke at second base, he's got the full attention of the Eugene defense. Shortstop Brock Johnson is staying very close to second. The hole on the left side right here for Logan Anderson is obvious to everyone. Maybe he can pull one to left.
3-1 count. In for his called strike. 3 balls and 2 strikes there.
Logan thought that was low. He started up the line a little bit and then had to come back. That's always embarrassing.
So it's a full count pitch here. Now you got to try not to let that linger too long in the mind as Anderson will dig back in. He's got a man in scoring position and time called before the next pitch. Colin Hernandez, a first-team All-State pitcher for a second time this year out at Thurston High School. Delivers one in and is fouled back. And Anderson stays in this one.
Yeah, we talked about quality at bats in the pregame. Coach Sester saying, hey, we're going to find out how tough we are. This is a quality at bat supporting Paxton Burke's quality at bat a moment ago.
Seeing a lot of pitches here. Hernandez, a quick look to second, delivers and misses high. And there is the walk that Anderson thought he had 2 pitches ago. So the first meeting against Hernandez, he only allowed 1 walk. He gives up 1 there, and that's going to prompt a quick visit out to the mound for assistant coach John Goldagger out there.
So what would you tell Hernandez right now?
Well, make sure he's feeling okay. Make sure his mind's right, and then say throw strikes. Is that that's kind of that's what every coach probably goes out there and says, right?
Yeah, so I'm told. I mean, being honest.
Talking strategy with Cal Robbins coming up?
No, I think it's, okay, look, you're totally focused on Burke at second base. Now you walk the guy, okay, the worst thing that could happen has happened to you now because it's still not the worst thing. You're still up 3-0. Don't worry about it. Just pitch to the bat. Pitch to contact. Now the force is on the infield. You don't have to worry about all this stuff. The grounder to any base, and we get a double play.
This inning feels a lot better, yeah.
Just chill out. I think that's probably what that conversation might have been like.
Cal did have 2 RBI in the first doubleheader against Eugene. He'll stand in here with an RBI opportunity. Cal Robbins. A look back to second base, and the focus on the runner at second continues.
That's close to a balk. He didn't make a motion toward home on that pivot, but I'd keep a close eye on that move.
Cal Robbins takes high for ball 1. Cal coming in, batting .327, has a team-high 14 RBI on the year.
And I'm sure there was something like, and also this guy's pretty good. Had to be part of the conversation.
Hernandez, again a look to second. Misses up by the letters for ball 2. Today's ball game brought to you by Barnes Heating and Cooling, your complete energy company. Visit barnesheatingandcooling.com or call them at 541-459-1545. Docs threatening as they trail 3-0 here in the bottom of the first, game one of a doubleheader. And it's a 3-0 count. We could be in for one here today. Half Shell may have to delay if we had about a 20-minute top half of the first inning. And we're about 26 minutes into this one here in the bottom of the first. This first inning's taking some time here. 3-0 delivery, and Cal does get a strike on the inside corner right at the belt buckle there. Opportunity now to see if he can drive one. Wind blowing towards right field. Cal can go to all field, especially with the lefty at the plate. On the mound. He fouls back for strike two.
Pretty good cut there. Got a fastball about belt high. You know when you pull your head on your golf swing and because you're thinking about how far that thing went? That's kind of what he did there. He was looking at the foul pole and the softball field on the other side of the fence over there on that swing.
3-2 delivery for Hernandez. And he will issue his second walk here in the first inning. And so Jake Johnson had to battle through a little bit. He hit 3 batters in the top half of the first. And now Colin Hernandez has walked back-to-back hitters after a leadoff comebacker up the middle by Paxton Burke. And now the bases are loaded, and the Docs have returned the favor. Bases loaded with nobody out. Can they take advantage, much like Eugene did in the top half of the first?
The Challengers never really hit one hard off of Jake Johnson. And I'm saying that as a reverse jinx for Daniel Withers right here.
Withers, first pitch. Well, he tried to hit one hard and did not connect.
Good cut.
Withers coming in, hitting .302 on the summer, 12 RBI for him, second most on the team. That's what you expect out of the heart of the lineup, which is brought to you by Floors by Design. The 0-1 is low and outside. Flooring is at the heart of every home, and Floors by Design is the premier location in Douglas County, offering the latest and greatest from the industry's leading manufacturers. Visit roseburgflooring.com for more information. The 1-1, low. And Hernandez struggling with the location here. They do have some activity in the Eugene bullpen. We did see some activity going on in Roseburg's bullpen in the top half of the first as well. 2-1 delivery for Hernandez. Low again. Keeps going back to that sweeper, the slider, and it's just not finding the mark.
Yeah, especially against a righty. That's a pretty choice pitch for a left-hander. But, yeah, there is action in that Eugene bullpen, and it would be, I think, a major shock to the Eugene plans if Hernandez didn't finish this game, not the first inning.
3-1, misses low for ball 4. It was over the plate, but just below the knees, and the Docs earn a run on a walk with the bases loaded. 3 consecutive base on balls for Colin Hernandez, who, as mentioned before, had only walked 1 against Roseburg the first time around. Scoring was Paxton Burke after his leadoff single. RBI for Daniel Withers. RBIs are sponsored by Umpqua Bank. Whether it's great deals on investments, savings on loans and lines of credit, or personal banking with no overdraft fees, you can cash in with Umpqua Bank. Member FDIC. Stop by one of the 6 branches in Douglas County in Roseburg, Sutherland, Myrtle Creek, and Canyonville. Got a meeting on the mound here.
Yeah, Eugene's just kind of killing some time. They're looking in the bullpen. They're checking to see if their guy's warm. I mean, they're ready, apparently, to lift Hernandez. Maybe not right now, but depending on what happens here, maybe they'll decide what to do.
It'll bring up Taj Flora, who has been hot as of late from what I gather following the games and reading the recaps. Flora batting .381. He'll take a strike. Taj had it was described to me as a Little League home run in a game down in Medford at Eagle Point High School. So he takes a strike on the outside corner.
Oh, man. Hernandez just got a break on that pitch for sure. That was a good take there by Taj. He's in a 0-2 hole all of a sudden.
Hernandez has settled in. He's throwing strikes. With the bases loaded, Taj fouls off the 0-2 pitch, stays alive.
Right away, you can tell Hernandez is working much faster.
Yeah.
So that, hey, start throwing some strikes. Just get it over the plate. Make him put it in play here.
Still nobody out. Bottom of the first. Docs have scored 1 on a bases-loaded walk. Bases remain loaded. Taj Flora at the plate with an 0-2 count, trying to barrel one up. And he takes high. That Little League home run, a ball that was hit to left field. Left fielder made a diving attempt, couldn't get it, and then couldn't find the baseball. And Taj just kept running. The 1-2. Ground ball up the middle. That will get through into center field. 1 run will score. They're sending Cal to the plate. The throw cut off on the mound. 2 runs come in on the single, and the Docs will tie it up on the base knock for Taj Flora.
What a response for Roseburg.
Trailing 3-0 after the top half of the first. They will tie it up here in the bottom half of the first, and they continue to have nobody out and an opportunity to maybe grab the lead with runners at first and second.
Dane St. Clair.
So, yes, half shell, 7 o'clock. Unless it gets delayed. 2 RBI there for Taj, by the way. That's nicely done. We're all tied up.
Doc Stewart's with their second hit, 2 hits and 3 walks here in the first inning. And so far, no outs recorded for Colin Hernandez. He'll get a lefty-lefty matchup, and Dane St. Clair trying to see if he can give the Docs a lead on one swing of the bat. He takes a big muscle cut on that one and just could not find it. Now shows a bunt and will pull it back. Takes high for a 1-1 count. 1 ball, 1 strike on a blustery Tuesday afternoon here at the ballpark. Doc Stewarts have tied it up at 3 each. Showing a bunt again. Dane takes a breaking ball that hits the outside corner to the lefty. Nobody out. The 1-2 delivery from Hernandez. Misses. Upstairs. The Docs have been aggressive, but they've also been able to be selective with their pitches that they are going after. It's been a good approach here early on. The 2-2 upstairs. They've worked themselves into 3 walks, and against a guy in Hernandez who got him to strike out 10 times the first time around, you'd think they might be a little antsy in the plate there, and anything close they might be swinging after. Full count pitch with a base open. Swing and a miss. And down on strikes goes Dane St. Clair for the first out here in the bottom of the first.
Took a swing at a high fastball that there's a lot of action. I think Hernandez is one of those guys that actually can't throw anything straight. Everything has something on it. So that might have been his fastball up around the eyes, and St. Clair couldn't lay off of it.
Jake Johnson stands in looking to help his own cause here. Gave up 3 in the top half of the first. His team has helped him out by scoring 3 times here in the bottom of the first. He takes a pitch on the inside corner. Tough one to do anything with there for a right-handed batter. Pitch that comes in at you at the knees and finishes right on the inside corner of that plate. Just not a lot of space to work. The 0-1 count to Jake. He chases upstairs for strike 2. That fastball up in the zone, enticing for these hitters after seeing those sliders that have been tough to track. 0-2 count. Go-ahead runner at second is Daniel Withers. Jake sends one high in the air to left field. Playable, coming now in and settling underneath it. Grady Saunders makes the catch. 5A Player of the Year underneath it for the second out. Went back at first, but the wind must have caught that one and knocked it down.
Yeah, the wind's still blowing pretty strong from left to right. And we saw one earlier like that hung in the air long enough to actually get down. But, yeah, the wind's playing a factor out there right now.
So with 2 down, you've got runners at first and second. Danner Wirtz will bat. He's the 8th hitter to come up for the Docs in the first inning, and he pokes one right side, but it will make its way out of play for strike 1. Danner has been his freshman year at Roseburg High and then his first year with the Doc Stewarts, batting .238. He's been a good contact hitter throughout much of the season, seeing a little bit more strong pitching here in the summer. But he is not a youngster that is overwhelmed by the moment. He has been able to stand in and come up with some big plays. He's got a 1-1 count as he takes high with 2 away. Just in the bottom of the first here, already 6 runs on the board combined. 3-3 our score. The 1-1 to Wirtz, swung on and missed. There is still the activity going in the bullpen for Eugene. It's slowed down a bit out there, but kind of curious what both coaching staffs thinks after their aces go out there and give up a crooked number. How long do they stick with them throughout this game? The 1-2 pitch from Hernandez. Ground ball left side, gets into left field. Base knock for Wirtz. They're going to hold Withers at third. Right idea with the strong arm of Grady Saunders in left field. Not that far out there. A base knock for Danner Wirtz, and the bases are loaded once again.
Good job by Danner. I thought on the second strike he really swung with his chin up, like, again, just trying to yak one out. And on that one, I feel like his head was down on the ball. Just a more conservative swing, and he got contact and pulled it through the left side.
Bring up another youngster from Roseburg High, the sophomore. Fletcher Coleman will be going into his junior year. The lefty will bat here, and he takes some chin music for ball 1. Fletcher Coleman was expected to be a swing guy, but he has been getting a lot of playing time this summer, and he is batting .368 for a guy that saw his first season starting at varsity as a sophomore this year. Does take a strike on the outside corner. He's been impressive. He's also done some decent pitching for the Docs already this summer, so definitely keep an eye on him and what his future may bring. The 1-1 fouled back. It's a ball and 2 strikes for the 9-hitter. Both teams will send 9 hitters to the plate in the first inning. We'll see if the Docs can send a 10th hitter up and grab a lead here in the bottom of the first, tied at 3. Bases loaded with 2 down. And Coleman, seemed like he was a little uncertain about that one. His feet were chattering in the box, but he lays off some high heat. Tough pitch to take. 2-2 once again for Hernandez, trying to get the final out. Ground ball up the middle, playing back. A flip to the bag at second, and they will finish it off. Johnson to Riddle for the put out. Wirtz forced out at second. And the Doc Stewarts will tie this ball game up. Both teams send 9 hitters to the plate in the first, and they each score 3. Docs 3 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors, and 3 men left on. We will go to the top of the second after a lengthy first inning here on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Johnson Lumber Company, a forward-thinking family company, has been operating in the Douglas County community for over 60 years. Founded by Don R. Johnson, the man who set the tone of commitment to these local communities by providing stable, long-term employment. D.R. Johnson Lumber Company understands the significance of investing in our youth because they are the foundation of our future. That's why they're a proud supporter of Roseburg Doc Stewarts. Come watch the Docs swing some lumber with D.R. Johnson Lumber Company. Go Docs!
Brook Communications radio stations have joined forces with a news review and Lotus Web Services, announcing the Lotus Media Group, a multimedia enterprise. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with LotusMediaGroupLLC.com.
Financial security allows you the freedom to take stock of what's important and build lasting bonds. We share your goals. Trust Palm Wealth Management to consolidate your investments and generate income for those who need you most. Call Palm Wealth Management today.
3-3 ball game here as we begin the second after a lengthy first inning, about 40 minutes total there. A lot of pitches thrown by both starters. Today's game brought to you by Flyway Travel. Contact the travel experts at Travel Leader Flyway Travel. Make sure you have an agent in your corner. Call 541-672-5701. Jake Johnson back out there, and he gets squeezed that outside corner. Can't get the call as he faces the top of the order for a second time. Landon Lay led off in the first inning, was hit by a pitch. The 1-0 delivery. He ground one right side. It is fielded by Anderson, who will take his time and throw to first. And that is a much more efficient way to start things off here in the second.
Yeah, 2 pitches to get an out. I think it took 7. Well, there was an out at home plate, I guess. It probably took 30 pitches to get the first out of the first inning.
1 away, nobody on. Brock Johnson, the shortstop, takes one down the middle for a strike.
How great, though, for Jake Johnson. No skin.
Yeah.
We'll just come back out, shake
I
it
mean,
off. I got some pitches in my elbow right now, but,
First inning was a warm-up for both sides, apparently. Now we'll see how things go. The ball fought off over the right side, out of play for strike 2 to Brock Johnson. 0-2 count. Tie ball game, 3-3 here in the top of the second. Jake, breaking ball misses high and inside. Brock Johnson, his first time up, laid down what was going to be a sac bunt, but left it in a very difficult spot for Daniel Withers and ended up reaching on a single. The 1-2 fought off again, and staying alive is Johnson. Well, taking a look at our D.R. Johnson Lumber Company scoreboard update from that first inning, it was you can do anything you can do, I can do the same, I guess, not better. Yeah. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 3 men left on base for both teams in the first inning. It is tied at 3 after just 1 inning in this 7-inning contest. The 1-2, check swing, and the call is he went around, tag applied by Cal, and there's a strikeout for Jake. I don't believe Brock Johnson had any thought that was going to get called for a swing and a miss.
Fooled him pretty good. That breaking ball that missed high a second ago.
14,
Jake just started it belt high, and it dove off the table, and Johnson could not hold up.
Grady Saunders, the 3-hitter, takes low and outside for ball 1. 2 strikeouts in the ballgame so far for Jake Johnson, and he has retired the first 2 batters here in the second. Nobody on with 2 down. The 1-0 to Saunders. Swung on and missed. And some good heat there for the Oregon State commit. I was looking back at last year's roster for Eugene, and even after his sophomore season, Grady Saunders was an Oregon State commit. It's a 1-1 pitch. Reaches and he smokes one to center field, but it goes right to Dane St. Clair, who barely has to move. And that didn't even seem like a full swing for Grady Saunders, but a line drive shot right at the center fielder is good for the third out. A 1-2-3 top half of the second for the Docs defensively. We'll head to the bottom of the second. It's still tied 3-3 here on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Turn your home into your dream sanctuary with help from Douglas County Farmers Co-op. For over 100 years, we've carried everything you need to keep your garden and crops green and growing, including a large selection of soil mixes, composts, fertilizers, and other soil amendments. You'll also find stones, boulders, gravel, and more to add structure and diversity to your yard. Stop by or shop at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
I wish I would have thought of that.
Three ball game here at Champion Car Wash Field. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Today's game brought to you by Winston Auto Care. Don't strike out with car troubles. Call Winston Auto Care at 541-679-8685. Your home team for auto repair for over 25 years. It is a Tuesday, which means if you check out our social media channels, Instagram and Facebook, search 1490 The Score if you're not already following us on those platforms. It's a Tuesday, which means we're giving away passes to go to Springfield Drifters games, and it's all thanks to Winston Auto Care. Those are good for pretty much all their home games, except for the one coming up on Thursday when they are doing their fireworks night for Independence Day. That game is, you got to buy a ticket to get in. First pitch, strike 1 to Paxton Burke, the leadoff man here in the second. But Winston Auto Care helping us give away tickets to go to Springfield Drifters games this year. Burke pulls one left side, tough spot. The shortstop, Johnson, throw to first, and it gets away from the first baseman. It was not going to be there in time, but Clift also couldn't hang on to it, so that is going to be another single for Paxton Burke. A chopper through the left side of the infield, just took the shortstop, Brock Johnson, deep in the hole, had a long throw to make, couldn't get it there in time.
Yeah, and it complicated it because Lucas Wheeling was cutting across from third base, so as he came across, it kind of got in the way, but Johnson was so deep in the hole, and it took that long to get there, and Burke's fast, so it all worked out for Paxton, who's 2 for 2.
Man on at first, Logan Anderson. Not showing a bunt, looking to swing away, and he will take high and outside. Today's game also sponsored by DC Farmers Co-op, where everyone is welcome to shop. 1-0 delivery. Anderson walked his first time. This is a swing and a miss for a 1-1 count. Logan will look to the dugout. Might get some instructions on what they think might be coming next. The pitch from Hernandez is high. A check swing didn't go around. The appeal is in agreement. Yeah, in agreement of what the home plate umpire saw as well. It's always nice when they all agree.
No swing.
2-1 count. Hernandez, a deep breath with a man at first. Burke not running. That's it. Pitch in for a strike at the knees to Anderson. Burke did take off and steal second in the first inning. Not too shabby with a lefty on the mound. Burke with a healthy lead over there as well. The 2-2. Fouled back to the netting behind home.
Hernandez is doing a better job this time of focusing on home plate. He really got mixed up with Burke on the base paths last time out, which, I mean, a few things contributed, but that certainly helped the Docs get off to a good start in the first.
Tied at 3 here in the second. Docs with the go-ahead runner at first, and stepping off the mound, Hernandez will reset. Kind of saw in between innings the pitching coach, Coach Goldagger, John Goldagger down there, giving some tips and advice from just in front of the dugout to his pitcher as he was going through his warm-up pitches. The 2-2, a line drive goes to short, diving back to the bag. No throw across by Johnson. So back in safely will go Burke. Unlucky there for Anderson, who got a solid swing on one, but sends it right to the shortstop for the first out.
Cal Robbins.
So now Cal Robbins, who drew a walk, and he felt like the guy that got a lot of focus at the plate back in the first inning. We'll see how they attack him the second time. Runner going, the throw high, throw down to second base. Got him. Tagged as he was sliding by. And they say that Burke does not get in time. Tough one there.
The pitch was high, and I really thought that it was going to be too high, and just things weren't going to work out for Eugene on that because Paxton got such a great break.
2 away now with the bases empty, and it's a 2-0 count for Cal Robbins.
But what you're seeing is a trend of catchers throwing up the line toward first base, and the defender tagging a foot or a leg as the runner goes by. Otherwise, it looked like he stole the base.
Yeah.
But excellent throw there by Gould, and the tag was applied, and Austin Stone on the infield calling the out, pointed to his hip, and said he was out. Gave us the whole explanation in pantomime.
Ball 4 issued to Cal Robbins as those watching online get the replay there on the stolen base attempt. So 2 down, and now a runner back at first as Cal Robbins will walk for a second time in the contest. And seems as if Cal might be in the head of Colin Hernandez just a little bit as he draws a second walk. But there are 2 outs, and now Daniel Withers, who drew a bases-loaded walk in the first, will look to try and see if he can extend things here in the second. Pitch high and away, ball 1 to Withers. That is the 4th walk in this game for Colin Hernandez. 4 walks and just 1 strikeout. Misses outside for a 2-0 count. It's kind of gone the opposite of what he did the first meeting, where he had 10 strikeouts and 1 walk. And he seems to be a little frustrated with himself. Takes a lap back to the mound, and now will set up. The lefty will deliver. And misses high, a 3-0 count. Out at first base, Cal Robbins is not a slow guy necessarily, but he's not a burner. And he's out there dancing around trying to get in the pitcher's head.
I think Colin Hernandez is in his own head.
Yeah.
I don't think he needs help.
He's got a 3-0 count here against Withers and asks for a new pitch. The 3-0 delivery. Misses for ball 4, and that is a 4-pitch walk and back-to-back free passes for Hernandez, and it'll extend things after getting some help from the defense by getting a runner caught stealing. He issues back-to-back free passes, and Taj Flora coming up to bat had the 2-run single in the first, and he may be facing a new arm as John Goldagger saunters to the mound, and he is going to ask for the baseball. We're going to get a call to the pen here in the bottom of the second. Not how you expected to see things go for Eugene in Game 1 of our doubleheader. The Docs will send it to the bullpen. Nice way to get things going here in Game 1. Call to the pen is brought to you by Overhead Door Company of Roseburg. We'll get all the details when we come back on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
New pitcher for the Challengers.
To expand your portfolio? Consolidate your investments with Palm Wealth Management. Our trusted team makes it easy to diversify and track your investments. Let Palm Wealth Management coordinate your financial strategy. Call Palm Wealth Management today.
Hundreds of years before county boundaries were drawn, the Cow Creek Umpqua tribe lived on southern Oregon lands. The Cow Creek were known then for their sense of community. They still are. Today, the success of their world-class casino resort and other Cow Creek businesses benefit our communities. The Cow Creek Foundation has given over $20 million to Southern Oregon charities. The Cow Creek Umpqua Tribe, a Southern Oregon tribe and a giving people.
Brook Communications radio stations have joined forces with the News Review and Lotus Web Services, announcing the Lotus Media Group, a multimedia enterprise. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with Lotus Media Group, LLC.com.
Colin Hernandez lifted for Michael Bushelman, the North Eugene product, class of 2026. He will get a chance to take over for the Challengers and try to keep this a tie ball game. 3-3, a pitching change brought to you by Overhead Door Company of Roseburg. If your garage doors are broken or just need updating, make the call to the Overhead Door Company of Roseburg for a change. They also provide full-service repairs. Visit overheaddoor.com for more details. So Bushelman will face Taj Flora. Already has 2 RBI on the day with a base knock. First pitch swinging away, pops it down the right field side, could be trouble towards the line, and it will end up in foul territory. Long run for Kyle Miller in right field, and he will not get there in time.
Yeah, that had spin and wind in favor of it staying foul and being out of the reach of Miller, who had a long, long run over there.
I believe it's going to be just a straight switch for Bushelman coming in for Hernandez. Thought maybe for a moment he went to first base, but it doesn't look like that. That is still Connor Clift there. So 0-1 count to start. Oh, behind the head of Taj Flora, 1-1 count. One delivery. Bushelman, a right-hander, so they mix it up there. Go from the lefty to the righty. Delivers and misses with his breaking ball low and outside. He inherits runners at first and second with 2 down here in the bottom of the second in a tie ball game. Docs with 4 hits against Hernandez will put his full line together once we get the book closed on him. That's a 3-1 count. The 2 runners left on base go to Hernandez's credit if they come around. 3-1 count. Back-to-back walks put runners at first and second here in the bottom of the second. Bushelman takes a look at Cal Robbins at second base, held on by the shortstop. Swing and a miss. Good heat there in on the hands, and Flora just couldn't let it go. It might have been ball 4. So it's a full count. Walk would load him up. Base knock could bring in the go-ahead run. The 3-2 to Flora. Line drive shot back up the middle. Does get in. Rounding third. Coming for home is Robbins. The throw gets cut off on the infield, and the Docs will take the lead as Taj Flora drives in his third run of the ball game.
I am so glad Flora came through there, because that 3-1 fastball in on the hands he swung on a second ago really bailed Bushelman out. I think they were having some communication problems between Gould and Bushelman also, and so to shoot that through like that and score Cal Robbins, who clearly is a burner, gives the Docs the lead.
Cal, moving on the pitch, was able to score, and now it is a 4-3 lead. Doc Stewart's in front. First pitch from the righty to the lefty, Dane St. Clair, called a strike on the outside corner. So the Docs lead for the first time today. A 2-out rally here in the second, puts one across, and Dane St. Clair trying to keep it going. He'll take well outside, a 1-1 count. Just the fifth hit in the ballgame for the Docs. Tosh has two of them now with a couple of RBI singles. St. Clair swings and gets a piece of a pitch outside for strike two.
It's like an NBA game. There's no defense being played here today at all.
Well, the Docs will hope that their defense can repeat the scoreless top half of this second inning when they come out in the third. Pitch is low. It is in for a strike. That will finish things off here in the second inning. A strikeout-looking Dane with a couple of strikeouts in this game. First one for Michael Bushelman. So the Doc Stewarts do grab the lead. One run on two hits, no errors, and two runners left on base. 4-3 as we head to the top of the third, where Brian Proutz will have play-by-play coverage for you coming up on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Communications radio stations have joined forces with the News Review and Lotus Web Services, announcing the Lotus Media Group, a multimedia enterprise. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with Lotus Media Group, LLC.com.
It wasn't until 1925 that the American Legion gave birth to its first youth program, and that was American Legion Baseball. And the emphasis was on citizenship and sportsmanship.
Travel ball, a lot of the times you go and you play and it's kind of just more of an individual game. But in Legion Baseball, it's more of a team working towards a goal, and I really appreciate that.
That you're playing for something more than just yourself. I'm playing for all the past veterans who have served. We're playing for the people who are still serving in the military. And it's a huge honor to be part of this program.
Welcome back, everybody. Here we're at Bill Gray Stadium, Champion Car Wash Field. Brian Prowitz here along with Joey Kieran as the Docs take their 4-3 lead into the top of the third inning. Jake Johnson still on the mound for the Docs to face the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Eugene here, starting off with Brady Bousquet, who scored a run in the first inning. In that crazy top of the first with 3 runs that came across for Eugene. The first pitch to Bousquet is called a strike on the outside corner. And Jake Johnson trying to follow up a quick top of the second with the same thing here in the third. A swing and a miss at the 0-1 for Bousquet, and Jake's ahead, 0-2.
Today's ballgame brought to you by Cascade Community Credit Union, belong to Douglas County.
0-2. Johnson gets the sign, kicks and deals. Little flare to left. It's going to slice foul. And Bousquet stays alive. Bousquet reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning. 9 batters came to the plate for the Challengers, and then the Docs did the same in the bottom of the first, scoring 3, bringing 9 to the plate. 0-2 here to Bousquet from Johnson with the bases empty in the top of the third. Checks his swing on a fastball, appealed to the first base umpire. No swing is the ruling. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jake Johnson asking the home plate umpire, Jason McGuire, was that pitch high, outside? What was it? And Jason said both, if I could tell. by his hand motion. 1-2 now to the lefty Bousquet. Johnson's pitch, high and outside without any question. And then the count is 2-2.
Docs do have an arm warming up in the bullpen. That is Caden Rygard, the North Douglas product, getting loose and ready to come in when needed.
Nobody out, nobody on. The 2-2 from Johnson to Bousquet is sliced toward third, speared out of the sky from Daniel Withers. Just took one step to his left and saved a double or more as that ball was headed for Texas over there in the left field corner. Bousquet trying to go the other way instead. A line out to third for the first out of the top of the third. That'll bring up right fielder Kyle Miller, who singled and drove in a run in the first inning for Eugene.
Withers did a good job staying in front, just had to drop to a knee to make that play.
First pitch here is a two-hopper to short, charging Burke. He'll fire across to Wirtz. And there are quickly now 2 away.
Well, good defense will help out every pitcher, and right there, Doc Stewart's doing a nice job on plays that are there to be made, and they are coming up with them.
Connor Clift now, the first baseman, RBI single in the first.
Number 23,
there were RBIs in succession in that first inning with the bases loaded for Eugene. And they scored 3, and they were feeling pretty good, but credit the Docs coming back in the bottom of the first to score 3 and even the score. Fastball for a strike to Clift. 0-1 now. Johnson's follow-up with 2 down and the base is empty. Close, but a little bit low. 1-1.
Shout out to our fan, Neville Patrick. He says he'll catch that ball. He's in Texas. He'll get that one.
All right, good.
Double almost smoked to Texas there.
1-1 taken on the outside corner. Called strike 2 to the lefty Connor Clift. And the 1-2 with 2 down. That fastball comes in high, and that'll even the count 2-2.
Jake settling in after that first inning, unfortunately needed a lot of pitches to get through it, but he's looking like he's found his rhythm out there.
2-2 now to Connor Clift. Big breaking ball, and it stays outside and high. And the count is full. Well, Jake would love to finish this one out right here and keep the Eugene bats quiet. Clift with a nifty single through the left side last time up can handle the bat. Full count with 2 outs and the base is empty. Johnson fastball fouled off. Clift stays alive.
He's got a really wide open stance. The first baseman, left-handed batter and left-handed thrower. And, man, it's a wide open stance, but obviously effective for him.
Now the 3-2 slash foul again. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's a major leaguer that reminds me of, but his right foot is actually parallel to the first base foul line until the pitcher winds, and then he steps in to take his swing. 3-2 again from Jake Johnson. Here in the third, breaking ball low and inside. That'll be ball 4. Clift started his hands and then just dropped the bat to make sure there was no question. So a walk from Johnson to Clift. That'll bring up Jalen Riddle.
Clift out of Junction City, 2026, and new guy on the roster this year for the Challengers, and he finds his way on base for a second time. Jalen Riddle will come up to bat here.
2 outs with that runner at first base now. Infield back in the first pitch. Johnson fires a fastball, and it's just a little bit low and outside. Cal Robbins asking the home plate umpire about that call. Ball 1. Johnson looking at Clift, comes set. Looks down, checks second, to the plate now. 1-0, bounces it up there. Cal Robbins knocks it down. 2-0.
Clift at first didn't think about trying to take off, saw that ball stayed in front of Cal and decided not to test the arm.
Yeah, just a good block. The 2-0 now from Johnson. Check swing, and at home plate they say he went around. Jalen Riddle now 2-1.
Mentioned earlier that Riddle played for the Docs 2 seasons ago and now has spent 2 seasons here with Eugene, and we were asked how that works out.
The 2-1 to Riddle. That one's foul up the third base line.
I think what happened, a player needs to be released from his home area to be able to go play. At least that used to be. I know they've made some changes in boundaries and the rules around some of that stuff to try and encourage guys to play Legion baseball. So I'm not sure all of the finer rules of all of that.
2-2 from Johnson to Riddle. Skies one into shallow center field. Coming in St. Clair. Anderson going out. Everybody with their blinds down, and it'll be Anderson in shallow right field fighting the sun to retire the side. Fairly quiet for Johnson there in the third. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left on. We'll go to the top of the third inning. Doc Stewart's leading it 4-3, and we're back after this on 541radio.com and The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
To expand your portfolio? Consolidate your investments with Palm Wealth Management. Our trusted team makes it easy to diversify and track your investments. Let Palm Wealth Management coordinate your financial strategy. Call Palm Wealth Management today.
Hundreds of years before county boundaries were drawn, the Cow Creek Umpqua tribe lived on southern Oregon lands. The Cow Creek were known then for their sense of community. They still are. Today, the success of their world-class casino resort and other Cow Creek businesses benefit our communities. The Cow Creek Foundation has given over $20 million to Southern Oregon charities. The Cow Creek Umpqua Tribe, a Southern Oregon tribe and a giving people.
Brook Communications radio stations have joined forces with the News Review and Lotus Web Services, announcing the Lotus Media Group, a multimedia enterprise. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with Lotus Media Group, LLC.com.
Welcome back to Champion Car Wash Field, everybody. Brian Prowitz here with Joey Keyran. I don't know, am I babysitting you? Am I helping? Am I watching? Is this a chaperone situation? Is this like a quality control assessment thing? Are you being like tested? Why am I here?
Like a Make-A-Wish thing?
Oh, my goodness. I hope not. Oh, my goodness. Well, for the Doc Stewarts in the bottom of the third, it'll be the pitcher Jake Johnson, first baseman Danner Wirtz, and left fielder Fletcher Coleman. The Docs leading 4-3 after an epically long first inning, where both teams scored 3 runs and each team brought 9 players to the plate. The first pitch from Bushelman is a chopper to the left side. Wheeling actually almost had to fight the sun as that ball came into his glove, but he fires across. 1 pitch, 1 out for the Docs offensively. It'll bring up Danner Wirtz. Danner with a single to the left side in the first inning as part of that big inning.
Danner Wirtz.
Danner ready, and Michael Bushelman misses a little bit high and outside. Bushelman in relief of the starting pitcher Colin Hernandez, who went 1 1/3. Do you have his line yet?
Yeah, I do, actually. We can get that for you.
That 1-0 is a little bit low for ball 2.
So Hernandez actually goes 1 2/3. He allowed 4 runs on 4 hits, had 5 walks and 1 strikeout. There's a swing and a miss there for Wirtz.
Takes him to 2-1.
And I would put those all down as earned runs. No errors so far in this ballgame.
Yeah, that's the one place there's a 0. There aren't too many zeros out there on the board as Wirtz swings through the 2-1 to make it 2 balls and 2 strikes. Base is empty, 1 out here in the bottom of the third as the 2-2 is fouled into the netting on the right side.
Bushelman came in the second, inheriting 2 runners, and gave up the RBI single to Taj Flora. That was the last run allowed by Hernandez.
2-2 now. Wirtz takes low and outside, a fastball. So it's 3 runs on 3 hits for Eugene. The Docs showing 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors. The 3-2 to Danner Wirtz is a high fly ball to left field, decently deep, but the park will hold it. Landon Lay drifting into the gap and makes the catch in left center field for out number 2.
On a day when the wind's not blowing here at the ballpark, which those are very few and far between here at Champion Car Wash, maybe that ball has a chance to carry to the wall, but the wind definitely holding that one up a bit. And it's the deepest part of the parks that Danner hits it to there, and so a lot of room to chase that one down for the center fielder.
Now the 9-hitter, Fletcher Coleman, takes a first pitch strike at the knees. If Wirtz hits that ball to the left side of the scoreboard as the 0-1 comes in a little bit low and inside, 1-1. Then the wind is going to take it and it's going to go to the gap. But that started out on the right edge of the scoreboard, and so it was pushing toward Lay, who did have a long run and made a great play out there. But the elements helped Eugene on that one. The 1-1 is a called strike. Now the 1-2 pitch with 2 outs, a little bit high. As Bushelman starts working a little bit quicker, it evens the count at 2-2.
First time Docs have seen Bushelman. Did not pitch in the first doubleheader up in Eugene.
The 2-2 pitch swung on a miss, strike 3. Coleman a little late on the Bushelman fastball. Doc Stewarts go quietly in the bottom of the third inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. Through 3, the Docs lead it 4-3. It's Doc Stewart's American Legion Baseball on 541radio.com and 92.3 FM and 1490 AM, The Score.
Turn your home into your dream sanctuary with help from Douglas County Farmers Co-op. For over 100 years, we've carried everything you need to keep your garden and crops green and growing, including a large selection of soil mixes, composts, fertilizers, and other soil amendments. You'll also find stones, boulders, gravel, and more to add structure and diversity to your yard. Stop by or shop at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
No. Welcome back, everybody. We go to the top half of the fourth inning in a 4-3 Doc Stewart's lead here at Champion Car Wash Field. An Area 4 doubleheader between the Doc Stewarts and Eugene. The Challengers coming in here in second place in Area 4 with a 1-1 record. Docs 2-4. Everybody behind Medford at 6-2. Here in the top of the fourth, it'll be the 8-hitter Caden Gould, followed by Luke Wheeling, and then the top of the order, Landon Lay against Jake Johnson, who has figured out his way to stay in this one all the way through so far to start off the fourth. It didn't look good for either starting pitcher there in that first inning, but Johnson has managed to stay in the game. First pitch bounces to the plate to Caden Gould. For ball 1, Gould was hit by a pitch in the first inning and stranded in that 3-run first for Eugene. 1-0 to Gould from Johnson. Fastball just outside. Robbins trying to frame it up, but not to the satisfaction of the home plate umpire, Jason McGuire. Ball 2.
Jake has retired 7 of the last 8. The only blemish was a walk to Connor Clift last inning.
Now the 2-0. Another fastball fouled away.
Docs Baseball here on The Score, brought to you by Bowers Industrial, a proud supporter of our local community and youth sports.
Now 2-1. Johnson peering over his glove, gets the sign from Robbins, rocks and deals. Breaking ball, high fly ball, left side. That'll get to the windshield of somebody's car over there, I'm sure. In the parking lot. 2-2.
Daniel Withers giving chase on that one.
Action in the Docs bullpen up to.
I believe that it continues to be Caden Rygard out there throwing for the Docs.
2-2 from Johnson with the bases empty here in the fourth. Breaking ball swung on a miss, strike 3. He went off speed and kept it high, and it was just too much for Gould to lay off for strikeout number 3 for Jake Johnson.
Well, nice to see the response there for him, and the offense has given him a lead to work with. Like to see a little bit more on the board, but he is doing a good job of keeping that lead intact.
Luke Wheeling, the 9-hitter, the third baseman, takes a fastball for a strike on the outside corner. Wheeling struck out to end the first inning. This is his second plate appearance. Johnson ready with the 0-1 now. Breaking ball, and it stays high and inside. That curve is kind of It's betrayed Jake a couple times, but also it's been one of his better pitches. His fastball's kept him in it as well. But I think that breaking ball is starting to find its purpose. The 1-1, that's a fastball for a strike on the outside corner at the belt, 1-2.
Nice job again. You mentioned Cal framing a pitch earlier. He does a nice job of drawing that one back to the outside corner, getting the call, and a 1-2 count. Advantage for the pitcher.
Jake shaking off Robbins a couple times, nods his cap. Here comes the 1-2 now with one out. The base is empty. Swung on and missed. Checked his swing, but he clearly went around. Strikeout number 4 now, and the second out of the 4th inning. And
now batting number 8, Landon.
Man, you were talking about like coming off of the conversation you had with Coach Tim Chester. 2 games last night, very tough ending, quick turnaround today. How are we going to be? Jake comes out shaky. Docs come back at the bottom of the first, rattle Hernandez's cage, and now Jake has really found a groove. That fastball is outside and off the plate. Landon Lay, the hitter for Eugene, ahead 1 ball and no strikes. But I think Jake's kind of starting to feel it a little bit.
Yeah,
right
he seems like he is finding his confidence back out there on the mound.
The 1-0, ripped towards short. Backhanded there by Paxton Burke. Late throw across on the money. Got him at first base to complete the 4th inning defensively for the Docs. Good job there by Paxton Burke collecting that ball, and what a peg across the infield. 3 up, 3 down for Eugene in the 4th. We've played 3.5. Doc Stewart's lead at 4-3. We're back with the bottom of the 4th in a moment on 541radio.com. And the score 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Johnson Lumber Company, a forward-thinking family company, has been operating in the Douglas County community for over 60 years. Founded by Don R. Johnson, the man who set the tone of commitment to these local communities by providing stable, long-term employment. D.R. Johnson Lumber Company understands the significance of investing in our youth because they are the foundation of our future. That's why they're a proud supporter of Roseburg Doc Stewart's. Come watch the Docs swing some lumber with D.R. Johnson Lumber Company. Go Docs!
Brook Communications radio stations have joined forces with the News Review and Lotus Web Services, announcing the Lotus Media Group, a multimedia enterprise. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with LotusMediaGroupLLC.com.
Financial security allows you the freedom to take stock of what's important and build lasting bonds. We share your goals. Trust Palm Wealth Management to consolidate your investments and generate income for those who need you most. Call Palm Wealth Management today.
At some point. Back here in Roseburg, Doc Stewart's leading 4-3. It'll be Paxton Burke to lead off the 4th inning, and he slaps one over the shortstop just off of the glove of Brock Johnson. Paxton Burke finishing off the top of the 4th inning with a web gem of his own, and here just gets it high enough that Johnson cannot quite get a handle on it for a single for Burke, who's 3 for 3. And is starting things off again here for the Docs in the 4th with a single.
He's got half of Roseburg's hits in this one so far and puts himself on. And he was caught stealing last time. We'll see if he can maybe get a better read with a right-hander on the mound and find a way into scoring position.
Logan Anderson pushes a bunt up the first base line. Long run for the pitcher Burkhalter. The catcher now will throw across and safe the call at first base as Caden Gould and Burkhalter kind of weren't communicating. Gould is stunned that call was not an out call at first base, and Kenny Niles is going to come out and ask Austin Stone, the infield umpire, what he saw and why they called him safe at first base.
He said bobbled and also said off the bag was some of his initial remarks.
A lot of things happening there. Burkhalter had it was a perfect bunt, first of all, by Logan Anderson. And then a long run for the pitcher, and then Gould grabbing it and making the throw. The throw was high, by the way. Connor Clift had to really reach up. Now, McGuire, the 2 umpires are talking, and I think they're going to reverse this. Clift was reaching high, kept one toe on the bag. Kind of bobbled it, though. The ball ended up on the turf.
Yeah, he did eventually drop it.
And after the conversation, there will not be a change.
Yeah, they don't rule any sort of overturn on that. And Kenny Niles.
So now Niles wants to go talk to the infield ump, but the home plate umpire is saying, no, we've already talked about it. You're going to have to stay here. So Niles is getting a little chippy right now on the call and then possibly whether or not he can go out there on the field.
And now the infield umpire will come over to.
It's like, okay, communication-wise, was it a bobble? Was he not on the bag? He was on the bag. He reached up. His toe might have been on the base. So sometimes an umpire will say something on the call, and the coach would say, well, if that's true, then the other part doesn't matter. Why would the bobble count if you say he wasn't on? He was on anyway. Communication is important. Game management happening right here between the umpires and the Eugene head coach, Kenny Niles. So,
It'll
safe at first.
Go down as our first error of the game.
So, runners first and second. Step off by Burkhalter. This is Cal Robbins at the plate. Robbins, no plate appearances so far. 2 walks, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. Sorry, no RBI. But he has scored 2 runs without the benefit of a hit. He'd love to get into one right here with runners at first and second and nobody out. First pitch, Burkhalter, fastball strike on the outside corner.
So I would say, is it E2 or E3? I would say it's probably on the throw that pulls the first
I
baseman
agree,
off the bag.
E2.
Okay.
Sack, bunt, E2, I'm thinking.
That's what I have as well. Bushelman out there.
See, we can all agree. Nothing in 1 to Cal. Chopper to short. 2-hopper Johnson flips to second. The relay from Riddle to first, this time in time to Cliff. No argument anywhere on the field on that one. That's a perfectly executed 6-4-3 double play. On the play, though, Paxton Burke into third. And the Docs still have a little something brewing here in the 4th inning.
Nice job, Johnson, who is a standout, one of the top 10 players in the state of Oregon, and on the infield, one of the top 3, all-stater for a second time. And he came in. He played that perfect as he charged in on the short hop and then made a great flip to second to start that double play.
Daniel Withers swings and misses at the first offering from Michael Bushelman. Like Robbins, Withers has walked twice in this ball game so far and driven in a run with the bases loaded in the first inning. That breaking ball misses outside 1-1. So Paxton Burke at third with 2 down. Here in the bottom of the 4th, Docs leading at 4-3 in game 1. The 1-1 pitch now to Withers is a high pop-up right side. Connor Cliff, the first baseman in foul territory, looking straight up, and he corrals that ball, though it looks like it ran up his mitt in foul territory. But they don't put pictures in the scorebook, do they? They just put the result. It's a pop-up in foul territory for out number 3. No runs in the inning for the Docs on a run and a hit and a man left on. We played 4, and it's a 4-3 lead for Roseburg over Eugene. And it's Doc Stewart's American Legion Baseball on 541radio.com and 92.3 FM and 1490 AM The Score.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Welcome back, everybody, here at Bill Gray Stadium, Champion Car Wash Field. Brian Prowett's here along with Joey Keyran and a new pitcher for the Docs.
Yeah, we've got Caden Reigard that'll take over on the mound for the Roseburg Dr. Stewarts. Jake Johnson going 4 innings after a shaky start in the ball game. He settled in nicely and was able to retire. Let's see, it would have been 10 out of the last 11 hitters he faced. He was able to get him out and finish with 4 strikeouts. Nice job there for Jake Johnson.
That was a rally of all time for Jake, I think. Here's Brock Johnson, the shortstop for Eugene. The Docs leading 4-3 as we start the top of the 5th inning, and that one comes in well high and inside. Brock Johnson singled and scored in the first, struck out in the second. He'll be followed by the 3-hitter Grady Saunders and the cleanup hitter, the DH Brady Bousquet. The 1-0 from Reigard is a fastball called strike. 1-1.
So Jake Johnson allowed 3 runs on 3 hits. He had 1 walk allowed, 4 strikeouts, and then 3 hit batters in the ball game here today.
Now the 1-1, Reigard, that pitch off of Cal Robbins' mitt back to the screen. And that makes it 2 balls and a strike. That was a little unusual. Robbins kind of had that ball skip off the end of his glove, so he and Rygard not on the same page there, thinking maybe that ball had a little bend in it, and it didn't.
Yeah, definitely looked as if Cal was expecting a different pitch to come in from Rygard, so they will get on the same page.
2-1 here to Brock Johnson. Rygard looking in. And rocks and fires. Here's the 2-1. That one's outside. 3-1. They don't have pitch ball or whatever they're
pitch
using.
calm. I'm actually kind of surprised. I think UCC has something, and I'm surprised they're not donating that to Legion Baseball for
3-1 comes in high, ball 4. I'm a little embarrassed I called that pitch ball. It's like FaceTime or Twitbook, combining, proving that I'm from a different era, apparently.
Just a second walk allowed by the Docs pitchers today.
Grady Saunders now, dangerous hitter. Hit by a pitch and scored a run in the first with Brock Johnson on at first base and nobody out here in the top half of the fifth as Rygard deals high on his first pitch, ball 1.
Today's ball game sponsored by Palm Wealth Management, a member of D.A. Davidson & Company, member SIPC.
Now the 1-0. Rygard to the plate, fastball fouled off to the right side, 1-1. Brock Johnson, the 2-hitter over there at first base, I'm sure is capable of being a threat on the bases. Doc's playing for 2 up the middle here. 1 ball and a strike from Caden Rygard. Runner goes, breaking ball called a little bit high, and then Robbins throw down to second base very high, but fielded by Logan Anderson to make a heck of an athletic leap to catch that thing as Johnson slides in underneath with a stolen base. Pitch is called a ball. It's 2-1 on Saunders.
It's unfortunate the throw high from Cal. He got up and was throwing quickly. He had a chance. Needed a better throw.
Now the 2-1 is outside. Robbins is having to work awfully hard behind home plate right now, and he's going to go out and talk to Rygard. I think they may have gotten their wires crossed again. So now Brock Johnson in scoring position at second base in a 4-3 Doc Stewart's lead here in the top of the 5th of Game 1 of a Area 4 doubleheader.
Should be noted, Jake was batting for himself, so with Rygard coming in, they may be looking just a short outing for him as he is not a guy that hits. He's a pitcher only.
The 3-1 from Rygard is a big breaking ball that misses high for ball 4.
And it may be more than just the the offensive portion of the equation for Rygard. Not finding the strike zone has Coach Tim Sester heading out to the mound, and they also sent, I believe it was Tegan Sprague out to start throwing for the Docs in the bullpen.
So the call's been made to the pen, and in fact, it looks like Paxton Burke is going to take over on the mound. We'll tell you all about it, though, when we come back. We'll take a timeout right here with the pitching change for the Docs. They lead at 4-3 on 541radio.com and 92.3 FM and 1490 The Score.
Communications radio stations have joined forces with the News Review and Lotus Web Services, announcing the Lotus Media Group, a multimedia enterprise. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with LotusMediaGroupLLC.com.
It wasn't until 1925 that the American Legion gave birth to its first youth program, and that was American Legion Baseball. And the emphasis was on citizenship and sportsmanship.
Travel ball, a lot of the times you go and you play and it's kind of just more of an individual game. But in Legion Baseball, it's more of a team working towards a goal, and I really appreciate that.
That you're playing for something more than just yourself. I'm playing for all the past veterans who have served. We're playing for the people who are still serving in the military. And it's a huge honor to be part of this program.
Welcome back to Legion Field, everybody. Pitching change for the Doc Stewarts is also setting off some defensive changes for Roseburg as well.
First, want to say to this change made by Overhead Door Company of Roseburg. If your garage doors are broken or just need updating, make the call to the Overhead Door Company of Roseburg for a change. They also provide full-service repairs. Visit overheaddoor.com. So defensively, Daniel Withers stays at third. You've got Logan Anderson moving to short. You've got Tegan Sprague coming in. He'll take over at second. Still at first base, Danner Wirtz. And the new pitcher is Paxton Burke, who goes from shortstop to the mound.
Brady Bousquet will be the batter for Eugene. Runners at first and second here in the top half of the fifth inning. Docs leading at 4-3, but under a little bit of duress. Burke checks second base, comes home with it, a little bit outside to Bousquet, ball one. Brady Bousquet reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the third, and then lined out to Daniel Withers at third base in the third.
Burke making just his third appearance on the mound this summer for the Docs. He's thrown 2 innings total.
Runners at first and second, the 1-0, slash toward third, down the line, foul. 1-1. Bousquet batting from the left side. Johnson at second, Grady Saunders at first base. Infield pinched up the middle. They'd love to turn two behind Paxton Burke. Daniel Withers behind the bag at third, right on the line. The 1-1, and a balk is called, and the runners will move up. I don't think Paxton came set. Little too quick.
Balks have been an issue. I think it was Riley Cheney that was the guy that had a handful of them in a game not that long ago that just could not quite get the break that the umpires were right on top of him.
Said he didn't come set to the belt. You really have to make a motion right there to stay set. The 1-1, chopper to the right side. Infield drawn in, and that short hops Sprague into right field. The new guy always sees the ball the first, right? And Johnson will score, and Saunders will score, and sliding in at second base with a double is Brady Bousquet, as that ball took a long time to get to the outfield, and Eugene takes the lead 5-4.
So Bousquet drives in. Brock Johnson from second. Grady Saunders comes in from first. And those walks by Caden Reigard come back to prove to be costly. 5-4 the score. That'll close the book on Reigard. It does not record an out. No hits allowed. He gives up 2 runs on 2 walks and no strikeouts.
That'll hurt the old ERA. But now the Docs need to get some outs. Here's Kyle Miller, takes a breaking ball for a strike on the outside corner. Tegan Sprague, new guy on the infield. Infield drawn in. That thing just bounced right at his feet, right under him. He couldn't smother it, and then it just trickled into right center field for a double. Pitch to Miller, who's 1 for 2 today. Fouled straight back, and Burke ahead 0-2. Yeah, that's a double on a grounder.
Yeah, it's tough.
And you can't call it a single, and he takes second on the throw because the throw came to second base.
Yes. Yeah, it took it was up the alley, and it took both outfielders a while to get there, especially with the lefty at the plate. And so a long run for the right fielder, Taj Floor, to get to the alley along with the center fielder.
0-1 to Miller, high and inside. Miller ducks out of the way. Robbins has to come out of his crouch to block it there at home plate and just keep it nearby. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 runs in here in the fifth for a 5-4 Eugene lead. And tell me if I'm wrong here. You didn't think 4-3 was going to be the final score, right?
No, I did not.
1-2 now to Miller. That'll foul back against the screen.
Well, Paxton Burke, did not pitch during the spring. I think we knew he could, but he didn't get asked to do so with Roseburg High School. He has gotten the opportunity to do it, and with some arms no longer with the team, I think they were looking for guys they could bring out of the bullpen, and Burke is definitely a guy that can fit that bill. They just hate to lose him at short, but Anderson is definitely a very solid replacement.
1-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. Big strikeout there for Paxton Burke. Goes to a breaking ball for the 6th strikeout of the day for Doc's pitchers. First strikeout there for Burke. And with 1 out, 2 runs in, and Brady Bousquet at second base. The hitter will be Connor Clift, the first baseman.
Been on base twice today. Had an RBI single in the first.
5-4 Challengers here in the top of the fifth. And the pitch from Burke floats in a little bit low.
Waiting on deck, Jalen Riddle, who's 0 for 2 in the day. A fielder's choice that drove in a run in the first. The on-deck hitter brought to you by the blind man.
Burke checks second. Comes to the plate with the 1-0. Fastball just outside to the lefty Clift, and it's 2-0. At shortstop, Logan Anderson playing a little peekaboo with Paxton Burke on the mound behind the runner Bousquet, trying to keep him a little bit close. Again, Burke comes set. Anderson pats the glove, dances out there at short, and to the plate comes the pitch, and it's a called strike on the outside corner. 2-1. Now 2-1. Burke comes home with that one, and it's a little bit high. Fastball makes it 3-1.
Connor Clift's been a tough guy to get out. He was the one, he took it to a full count and was right on top of the ball four pitch. I remember you mentioned he got the hands moving and then just dropped the bat.
Now 3-1. The runner at second and 1 out. Burke to the plate. Strike 2 on the outside corner as Clift starts to make a move toward first base.
He was ready to unbuckle the shin guard there.
Yeah, he was going to drop all of his equipment right there and head out. Hold the phone there, bud. Full count, 1 out. Bousquet, close lead at second base. And the 3-2 pitch from Burke is a move to second and a fake throw. He doesn't actually let go of the ball, but a little spin move back there, giving Logan Anderson the satisfaction of finally having something come from all of that activity at second behind the runner, Brady Bousquet. 3-2, 1 out. A long look in for Burke to get the sign. Checking second base, checking second again. Comes home with it, the 3-2. Breaking ball just outside and off of Robbins, so ball 4 sends Clift to first, but Bousquet took off as soon as the ball skittered away at home plate. And so Bousquet to third base on what I would think is a pass ball. You could call it a stolen base, but I don't know about that. A walk to Clift. Runners at the corners now with 1 away for the second baseman, Jalen Riddle.
Clift has been on base all 3 times. A couple of walks for him there. Riddle was the on-deck hitter, brought to you by the blind man. If you're feeling the heat when you're on deck, contact the blind man, a Hunter Douglas gallery dealer in Roseburg.
This first pitch is behind the hitter and off of the glove of Robbins, back to the screen, and that will score Brady Bousquet on a wild pitch to make it 6-4. Eugene on the plate. Connor Clift down to first base, and Riddle ahead 1 ball and no strikes, and the Docs scrambling here a little bit in the 5th.
Another crooked number up on the board for Eugene, and once again it's been free passes. It was hit by pitch in the first inning. Here it's been 3 walks in this 5th inning and now a wild pitch.
1-0 to Riddle. This one shot to second base, gobbled up by Tegan Sprague, dropped it, picked it up, sent it to first in time for the out. For the 4-3 put out on the play, Connor Clift into third. 2 outs for the 8-hitter, Caden Gould.
And that just really stings a little bit there. The wild pitch, allowing both runners to move up, and that negated that double play option up the middle. That's exactly the next pitch results in the ball that you wanted for that double play option.
Gould 0 for 1. Struck out looking in the 4th inning and was hit by a pitch in the first. Here, a nice breaking ball from Paxton Burke is called strike 1. Gould out of North Eugene High School in Linfield. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. As Burke shows a pretty decent breaking ball right there. Went off speed and fooled Gould.
Hit .261 at Linfield this year, playing in 10 games.
With a runner at third and 2 down, the 0-2 pitch from Paxton Burke is a little flare into short left field, and it will get down as Fletcher Coleman made a lunge for it, and that will score another run. It makes it 7-4. Coleman doing everything he could possibly do to get to it, but it was just a soft liner to short left field.
And Coleman, not a slow guy out there, but yeah, just out of his reach, leaning, and he's had a couple of balls that maybe the wind helps knock down a little bit that he has just been running forever, it feels like, and can't quite get to where that ball is coming down.
So now 7-4, and the first pitch to Luke Wheeling is fouled off. Wheeling has struck out twice in this ball game. He's the 8th hitter to come to the plate here in the 5th inning. Top of the 5th now, 7-4. The Docs started this inning leading 4-3. Wheeling, a right-handed hitter out of North Bend High School, recent graduate, takes one high and away from Burke, and it's 1-1.
And that's been the topic of conversation a lot this season, is avoiding that one inning where things just go haywire for the Doc Stewarts. And they've had so many games where they were right in it down to the end, and they just could not quite keep a hang on it.
1-1 is low and outside. Robbins reaching over to keep that at home. Runner at first with 2 down. The 2-1 pitch to Wheeling, the 9-hitter, is a base hit through the right side. Turning at second is Caden Gould. He'll stop now at second. And a single through the right side for the 9-hitter for Eugene. Makes it first and second with 2 away. And back to the top of the order, Landon Lay, the 9th hitter to come to the plate for the second time. Eugene has sent 9 to bat in one of their innings.
Wheeling getting his first hit of the day after a strikeout. His first 2 times up, both against Jake Johnson, who unfortunately pitched really well, but now the bullpen gives up the lead, and Jake is going to be getting a no decision today.
With 2 gone and 2 out here in the 5th, the first pitch from Burke, fastball misses outside. He wanted that one badly. Landon Lay was hit by a pitch in the first inning and has grounded out twice since. With Gould at second and Wheeling at first base and 2 down, the 1-0. Off speed. Ooh, just outside. Everybody liked that, but the home plate umpire. 2-0. 7-4 now, Eugene. In game 1 of this Area 4 doubleheader. Paxton Burke, 3rd pitcher used today by the Docs. Gets the sign, comes set, long hold, check in second, comes home with a fastball at the knees for a strike. 2-1.
We've had 3 walks and 3 hits here in this 5th inning. Wild pitch in there helped move some things around as well. And a balk was called as well this inning.
Yep. Wild pitch and a pass ball. And 2-1 now. Off speed, little grounder towards the right side. It'll be Sprague coming up with it to retire the side. So, a quiet ending to a big inning here for Eugene. They score 4 in the top of the 5th and take a 7-4 lead to the bottom of the 5th inning here in game 1 over the Doc Stewarts. It's Doc Stewarts American Legion Baseball on 541radio.com and 92.3 FM and 1490 AM The Score.
To expand your portfolio? Consolidate your investments with Palm Wealth Management. Our trusted team makes it easy to diversify and track your investments. Let Palm Wealth Management coordinate your financial strategy. Call Palm Wealth Management today.
Hundreds of years before county boundaries were drawn, the Cow Creek Umpqua tribe lived on Southern Oregon lands. The Cow Creek were known then for their sense of community. They still are. Today, the success of their world-class casino resort and other Cow Creek businesses benefit our communities. The Cow Creek Foundation has given over $20 million to Southern Oregon charities. The Cow Creek Umpqua Tribe, a Southern Oregon tribe and a giving people.
Brook Communications radio stations have joined forces with the News Review and Lotus Web Services, announcing the Lotus Media Group, a multimedia enterprise. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with Lotus Media Group, LLC.com.
Back here at Champion Car Wash Field as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, 7-4 Eugene. Brian Prowitz here along with Joey Keyran as the afternoon goes on, and for a while it felt like the first inning was going to be the entire game. Like, take us all the way. After the first inning's over, we're going to take a 20-minute break, come back and play the rest of the doubleheader. It's been a long one, a lot of runs scored, a lot of walks and such. Both teams, well, the Docs anyway, coming off of a late night last night. Probably their bullpen's probably a little stretched right now. But it's been the walks and the soft little line drives here and there that have really been the undoing of the Docs today. As Michael Bushelman's first pitch to Taj Flora fools him pretty good. A swing and a miss. Flora 2 for 2 with 3 RBI today, leading off the bottom of the 5th. It'll be followed by Dane St. Clair and Jake Johnson. Well, we'll see who the hitter is for Johnson here in just a second. The 0-1 is skied over home plate and into the seats off the roof here to make it 0-2.
Today's ball game brought to you by Southern Septic Service. Nobody sticks their nose in Southern Septic Service's business. Get a free no-obligation estimate today. Visit SouthernSepticServiceInc.com.
Now the 0-2. Take it outside. Michael Bushelman in relief of Colin Hernandez in the second inning. Has done a pretty good job. Got a double play in the 4th inning to get out of a little bit of a jam. The 1-2 pitch to Flora is strike 3 called right at the belt. A breaking ball. Kind of fooled Flora a little bit for the strikeout.
It'll be interesting to see how the Docs respond. We saw them respond with 3 runs in the bottom of the first to tie the game up early, took a lead. But now, after a little bit of shakiness when they get to the bullpen, we'll see if that kind of affects the confidence at the plate as well.
Yeah, I hope not. Quality at bats. We talked about that in the pregame show a little bit. Very, very important. Stay tough. Stay focused. St. Clair fouls off the first pitch and then grounds this one to second. He dropped it and slipped and fell, and Dane St. Clair will get himself a chance on the bases. It's Jalen Riddle taking his eye off the ball there, Joey. E4 on what would have been a very easy out.
Yeah, just got a little bit too laid back with that play. It was a nice bounding ball to his glove side, stuck it out there, tried to just kind of make a nice in-rhythm play, and it just squirted right out of the top of the webbing, and then he tried to rush, and that's when the nerves really started kicking in.
Just a little too casual. First pitch here to Tegan Sprague is skied to center field. Landon Lay waits for it and makes the out. For the second out of the 5th inning, it'll bring up Danner Wirtz, the first baseman here. Eugene leading here 7-4. It was the Challengers with 3 runs in the first. The Docs came back with 3 in the bottom of the first, added a run in the bottom of the second, held that 4-3 lead until the top of the 5th. And now trying to come back in the middle stages of this one. 2 outs and the runner at first base. First pitch to Danner Wirtz is taken low and outside. Danner with a base hit in the first. Fly ball out in the third. Batting from the right side against the righty Bushelman, who turns and looks at first base and then comes set. St. Clair over there at first with not much of a lead, and the 1-0 misses low.
Docs are down to their final 7 outs to work with here, but Bushelman has come out of the bullpen and looked really sharp.
2-0, taking a little bit high. Didn't miss by much, 3-0.
He's got 3 strikeouts, no walks issued, so Danner Wirtz.
The 3-0 to Danner. That's there for a called strike.
Figured we were going to see one. Bushelman's been sharp and hadn't given up a walk yet. I didn't expect he was going to give one up on 4 straight pitches.
Now the 3-1. Check swing. Wirtz went around. Makes it 3-2. Danner obviously looking for something other than what Bushelman gave him. And now the skinny right-hander deals the 3-2, and that's low and outside as St. Clair breaks for second base. And that is ball 4. So now St. Clair and Wirtz on the bases for Fletcher Coleman, the left fielder. And now actually,
Fletcher Coleman.
Coleman 0 for 2 in this one today. It'd be good for a little bingo right here from the lefty. Bushelman ready, and the first pitch to Fletcher is taken outside. Ball 1, fastball.
Docs with 6 hits in the ball game. Fletcher Coleman did reach on a fielder's choice, but that was at the for the 3rd out. So
back in the first inning. 1-0. Here's one toward right field. It's down for a base hit. At third base, St. Clair is going to get the stop sign. The throw is cut off on the infield. Boy, did St. Clair take a wide turn, running almost directly into the coach. Both hands in the air. Makes it clear. Stop right there to turn it over to the top of the order to Paxton Burke. All Paxton's done is go 3 for 3, and now he's the man on the mound for the Docs. Trailing 7-4 right here.
Next batter, number 7, Paxton
with Burke at the plate.
Coach Justin Bennett out there at third base, giving that late stop sign probably the right call as that ball didn't get deep into the outfield.
And with Burke coming up next, smart move. Here's the 1-0. Or is that the first pitch? That one came in a little bit high. There's the first pitch, 1-0.
Burke is, as you mentioned, 3 for 3, but those all came from the right side of the plate. Or actually, no, his last one was against Bushelman. So second time batting as a lefty.
Bushelman misses high and outside. Now it's 2-0. Crowd coming alive here with a chance for the Docs to make a little noise. Down by 3 with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss by Burke.
Got one he liked. Took a good hack at it. Looked like maybe a bit of a curveball there.
Now the 2-1 is low and inside.
Feel some of the warm air coming in through the window. Temperatures climbing here this afternoon. We were in the low 80s to start out the day.
Now 3-1. Bases loaded with 2 down. The pitch to Burke. Rip back through the middle. It'll get into center field. That'll score St. Clair. Wirtz turns at third and comes home as well. He will score. The throw cut off on the infield, and the Docs have drawn within 1.
Paxton Burke delivers once again his 4th hit of the day, and boy, oh boy, does he help his own cause there.
St. Clair scoring the 5th run. Wirtz coming home to make it 7-6. RBIs for Paxton Burke. All coming here with 2 outs. And that error at second base by Jalen Riddle now looming large. Logan Anderson wants to keep it going. Runners at first and second with 2 down. And the first pitch, Anderson is fouled off. Oh, he got a really good cut at that one. Anderson walked and scored in the first. Lined out in the second and reached on a sacrifice E2 in the 4th before being cut down to the front end of a 6-4-3 double play. Burke at first, Coleman at second base. Doc's making some noise, trailing 7-6. That 0-1 is a called strike 2.
Breaking ball drops on the inside corner. The curve ball, great spot. And oh boy, that was one that Anderson, a lot of times I feel like he'd get after, but takes that one for strike 2.
Nothing in 2 now. 2 on, 2 out. 2 in. Here in the bottom of the 5th. And this one's a little fly ball into center field. Landon Lay drifting to his left, squeezes it, and the side is retired. But the Docs score 2 runs on 2 hits and an error. They leave 2 aboard, and it's a 1-1 ball game. One-run ball game as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Eugene 7, Doc Stewart 6 on 541 radio and 92.3 FM and 1490 AM. The Score.
Turn your home into your dream sanctuary with help from Douglas County Farmers Co-op. For over 100 years, we've carried everything you need to keep your garden and crops green and growing, including a large selection of soil mixes, composts, fertilizers, and other soil amendments. You'll also find stones, boulders, gravel, and more to add structure and diversity to your yard. Stop by or shop at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
Welcome back. We go to the top of the 6th inning. Doc Stewart's trailing now 7-6 after 2 in the bottom of the 5th inning. And here with the call is Joey Keyran.
This game is brought to you by Roseburg Country Club, established in 1922, offering an 18-hole course with excellent year-round playability. Find out more at roseburgcountryclub.com. Well, Paxton Burke will no longer be the guy on the mound. They're going to go to Dane St. Clair, who I was looking at stats earlier today and was surprised to see Dane has not thrown this season, and he'll get an opportunity to do so. That means we've got some changes in the outfield. Fletcher Coleman will take over in center field. And now in left field for the Doc Stewarts is Ryan Shaver. First pitch from St. Clair, the lefty is inside, ball 1 to Brock Johnson. So Coleman moves to center. Shaver comes in for Sprague. As a ball belted out towards him, you always said it, the new man finds the baseball first. Shaver gets a double over his head into left field up against the wall. A leadoff double for Brock Johnson, who has his second hit in the ball game.
That was just a hard hit ball, and as soon as it hit that springy turf, it bounced and took off. And Shaver had a long way to go get it. He made a couple stabs at it with a bare hand, trying to pick it out of the air, but it was elusive.
So a man in the scoring position for Eugene with nobody out here in the top of the sixth. Docs do a nice job of the fight back, get back within a run, scoring twice in the bottom half of the fifth inning, and they are trying to stay in this ball game with 6 outs left to work with. It is Grady Saunders who shows a bunt, will take high for ball one.
Defensively also, Logan Anderson goes back to second base, and Paxton Burke is at short because he didn't come out of the game. They can put him back.
Goes back there from the mound after 1 inning of work. St. Clair's a 1-0 pitch, high and away. Dane is usually a short relief type of guy, so we'll see. They may be looking to kind of game planning for the 7th inning as well, hoping he can get him through 1 inning and then see if maybe somebody else takes over for the 7th. 2-0 delivery with a man at second base and nobody out. Saunders swings through for strike one. Dane is a guy that's a crafty lefty. A lot of junk ball type of throws. Made 9 appearances during the spring season with Roseburg. Only had 1 start. Gets a foul ball as he twists up Saunders for strike two. Had a 14 1/3 innings worked. 0-2 record. 3 saves, though. 6 walks, 9 strikeouts during the spring for Dane St. Clair. Out at second base, Brock Johnson after his leadoff double. 2-2 count. St. Clair. That's strike 3, and now the throw down to first base will get him. Didn't really even see a strike call from the umpire, but Saunders knew it, and I'm not sure if Cal Robbins knew it, but heard somebody yell, tag him from the dugout. That is strike 3. That was the most uneventful strikeout I think I've ever really seen.
Yeah, no signal at home plate on a strike, but you're right, everyone agreed. So a backwards K punch out there for St. Clair.
Popped out of the glove for Robbins, so he did have to throw it down that way. But, I mean, I thought it was going to be strike 3. Just didn't seem like there was any reaction from anybody. First pitch, low and outside, a sweeper to Brady Bousquet for ball 1. He had a 2-run double in the 5th.
Everybody wanted to be excited about it.
1-0 count with 1 out and a man at second. Outside, 2-0. This is the heart of the order here for Eugene, the 4-hitter Bousquet. Heart of the order is brought to you by Floors by Design. Flooring is at the heart of every home, and Floors by Design is the premier location in Douglas County, offering the latest and greatest from the industry's leading manufacturers. Runner going, throw down to third. Safe in at third base. Swiping, leaning the tag by Withers, and he just couldn't get it there in time.
Well, St. Clair not paying attention to that runner out there. That is very smart there by Johnson. A quick look, and then he breaks. The throw beats him there for sure. But according to the infield ump, no tag over there at third base.
Infield comes in with 1 out. Bousquet will take ball 4 high. And it is runners on the corners with 1 away as Dane St. Clair issues his first walk. That'll bring up the 5-hitter Kyle Miller. Miller 1 for 3 with an RBI single back in the first. And we do get a pinch runner.
Chase Hartley, number 2 for Eugene, taking over running at first for Bousquet.
And Bousquet was the DH, so not a courtesy runner. That'll be a pinch runner.
Now batting number 7, Kyle Miller.
And Kyle Miller will bat. Miller, a strikeout victim against Paxton Burke in his last at-bat. Stands in here with runners at first and third, and he takes a breaking ball in the outside corner for strike one. So Burke came in with nobody out in that fifth inning. He'll get credit for 1 inning of work. Gave up 3 hits. 0-1 pitch by St. Clair. Runner takes off from first, hit and run on. Ranging to his right was Fletcher Coleman, who makes the catch. It'll go down as a sac fly for Kyle Miller, as the Challengers will stretch their lead back out to 2. Different lefty in center field there. Dane St. Clair on the mound, so sac fly to center for the second out. Miller picks up his second RBI, scoring Brock Johnson. The runner at first had taken off, but had to race all the way back to first base on the sac fly. Strike on the first pitch to the lefty, Connor Clift, who has been on base every time. I have written in and erased things so many times in the 4 spot in the lineup card here for the spot that was occupied by Brady Bousquet. Runner took off, foul tip into the glove for strike 2. But back to the bag at first goes the runner, Chase Hartley, from Sheldon. It's an 0-2 count. St. Clair trying to get Clift for the first time. This is upstairs. So ball and 2 strikes. Top of the 6th inning. It's a 2-run ball game, 8-6. Challengers in front. Lifted towards center. Coleman tracking. Continues to track. A ball that takes a while to come down. Gets caught up in the air, and it falls into the glove. Fletcher Coleman there for the final out. 1 run comes in after the leadoff double by Brock Johnson. 1 run in on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base for the Challengers. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is 8-6. Docs down by 2, but still some time to go left in this one on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Johnson Lumber Company, a forward-thinking family company, has been operating in the Douglas County community for over 60 years. Founded by Don R. Johnson, the man who set the tone of commitment to these local communities by providing stable, long-term employment. D.R. Johnson Lumber Company understands the significance of investing in our youth because they are the foundation of our future. That's why they're a proud supporter of Roseburg Doc Stewart's. Come watch the Docs swing some lumber with D.R. Johnson Lumber Company. Go Docs!
Brook Communications radio stations have joined forces with the News Review and Lotus Web Services, announcing the Lotus Media Group, a multimedia enterprise. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with Lotus Media Group, LLC.com.
Financial security allows you the freedom to take stock of what's important and build lasting bonds. We share your goals. Trust Palm Wealth Management to consolidate your investments and generate income for those who need you most. Call Palm Wealth Management today.
Docs baseball this summer on the Score, brought to you by Gibbs RV Superstore. You got to get to Gibbs, where RV means real value. Get a pitching change here in the 6th inning with a 2-run lead. The Challengers go to the bullpen to bring in Grady Saunders. Saunders checks in out of Thurston High School. He is a good one. Throws in the high 80s, 96 strikeouts during the spring for the Colts. He'll try to see if he can pitch the Challengers to a win. It would be a save opportunity for him if he finishes out this game. So new man on the mound after the pitching change made by the Challengers, sponsored by the Overhead Door Company of Roseburg. First pitch, fastball high and inside to Cal Robbins, who leads things off against the new man. Michael Bushelman comes out of the game and is in line to get the win. Cal will take a strike on the 1-0 pitch down the middle there for Saunders.
Looks like Chase Hartley stays in the game in left field, replacing Saunders out there for Eugene.
And that would have been the case for the DH getting lifted for the pinch runner. The 1-1 high from Saunders. I do believe the Docs saw Saunders in one of those games up in Eugene. Ground ball chopped foul, third base side for Cal, evens up the count.
Well, Saunders is peppering the zone with some pretty decent, firm fastballs. You should be wide awake to get up there right now. Anybody that's kind of like leaning back, you got to step in and be ready to go.
2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Cal watches it on the outside corner. Breaking ball just clips the edge. Cal goes down looking, got an explanation from the umpire as to exactly where that ball was, and heads back to the dugout to share the intel.
Yeah, he checked his swing a little bit, so he wasn't sure if it was on the pitch or on the swing. And he didn't really take a cut at it. It was a great pitch on the outside corner, the same one he started Daniel Withers off with right here at 0-1.
Withers a walk in 2 at-bats, did get an RBI with one of them. He'll take high and inside, a 1-1 count. Saunders pitched an inning and 2/3 against Roseburg in a 7-1 victory. He did not allow a hit or a run, no walks, and had 3 strikeouts. Ball fought off by Withers for strike 2.
Saunders looking like fastball, slider, and that's about it. And they both look the same coming out of the hand and different at home plate.
The 1-2 outside, a little elevated up on one knee. Looking to receive that ball up at the top of the zone. Caden Gould behind the plate. They couldn't get Withers to chase. That one buzzes up near. That one could almost leave the ears ringing how high that one came in. Withers does curl out of the way, has the full count. Saunders challenges him, and Withers able to get a piece of it, staying alive.
Just basic baseball, breaking ball or fastball up towards your noggin, and then something fast and firm away. A little rocking chair action there.
Saunders will take a beat on the mound, now ready to fire in. And he'll issue ball 4. Walks a bit of an issue today for this Eugene club, especially out of 2 pitchers that had not been issuing walks the first time they saw Roseburg. And Saunders, with 1 out, puts a man on base. That'll bring the game-tying run to the plate for the Doc Stewarts with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Taj Flora 2 for 3 on the day. A strikeout victim his last time up. Takes high.
Yeah, that's important to point out. The Docs are only down by 2. It feels like it's a lot worse than that after that rough top of the 5th. Pick moved to first and out at first base to call. Oh, my goodness. Watch out. Daniel Withers caught a little bit flat-footed, but I don't think I guess it doesn't matter what I think.
2 down, a ball lifted to deep center field, and running that one down, Landon layout there. So Daniel Withers picked off at first, and then a fly ball to deep center for Taj Flora, and this inning surprisingly comes to a quick end here in the bottom of the 6th. It'll remain a 2-run lead for Eugene as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Docs looking to try and keep it within reach on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Top of the 7th inning, this ball game sponsored by McClendon Smokehouse, a family-owned meat shop and smokehouse offering a wide selection plus fresh produce, baked goods, and a general grocery selection. Stop by on West Harvard Avenue. Dane St. Clair throwing for the Doc Stewarts another inning, and he gets a call on the outside corner for strike one. This live video coverage is brought to you by the Cow Creek Tribe for those that are watching online. Pitch inside, a 1-1 count. We do encourage you to hit the subscribe button if you're watching on our YouTube channel, and then you can get notifications when we go live with more Doc Stewart's baseball this summer. Swing and a miss for strike two. The leadoff man for Eugene here is Jalen Riddle, the second baseman. Takes outside, a 2-2 count. Docs down to their final 3 outs, but first trying to keep it a 2-run ball game. It's been a tight one. Both teams with crooked numbers on the board in a couple of innings. Riddle gets underneath one, launches it out towards left center. Deep run for Fletcher Coleman, and he will not get to it. It gets up against the wall. Coleman sends it back in quickly. A leadoff double for a second consecutive inning for the Challengers.
Wow, that thing carried and carried. When Fletcher Coleman's back, when you can see the number of the outfielder, that's a good thing for the hitter. As that thing just continued to carry. The wind is blowing strong right now, but usually it's out to right. That looked like that ball just got into the breeze and headed toward the gap. I kind of thought it was going to be a ground rule double, but it caught the top of the Coca-Cola sign in center field and stayed in.
Runner at second with nobody out. First pitch, strike one. Showing a bunt was Caden Gould. Pulled it back and then suffers the strike call. 0-1 delivery here. St. Clair out there for his second inning of work. He gave up a double to start things off in the 6th inning as well. Misses outside, 1-1.
Yeah, and it's no fun pitching under duress like this especially, but that run is very important. With the way runs have come today, a 2-run lead, of course, obviously Eugene would rather have a 3-run lead or more.
The 1-1. That ball is going to get down in the alley in right center, and that's going to have a chance to stretch it to that 3-run lead. Taj Flora comes up firing, and will send it to second. They got a chance? Yes! They'll get the out at second base. Caden Gould, an RBI single that he tried to stretch into a double, and Taj Flora makes a smart play as he throws to second base. A little high, but Paxton Burke gets the tag down in time, and that will retire Gould for the first out. Coming in to score was Jalen Riddle.
Yeah, no doubt Riddle was going to score, but
pop up behind home, fighting for it. Oh, man, Cal Robbins staring up into the afternoon sun, rubs his eyes after he makes the grab. He didn't have any idea where it was at first, but that ball in the air off the bat of Luke Wheeling, that ball hung up there a while, gave Luke plenty of time to find it, or excuse me, Cal back behind the plate, plenty of time to find it.
Yeah, he shed the helmet and then realized he didn't have his sunglasses because you're a catcher, so you can't. And I think he looked straight into the sun.
Breaking ball low for ball one. Top of the order, Landon Lay back up to bat for the Challengers. St. Clair slings one in. It comes inside to the hitter. 2 balls and no strikes. Line drive back up the middle, and it goes right past Dane St. Clair, who kind of threw up his glove defensively to try and protect himself. Couldn't get the leather on it into center field. Base knock for Lay.
Well, lots of action here in this 7th inning. I want to go back to the out at second. Taj Flora's play, cutting down Caden Gould. Very aggressive by Gould, but a great throw there and a great tag by Paxton Burke to get that first out, even though a run scored.
Showing a bunt with 2 outs, and the first pitch outside to Brock Johnson. Johnson's been on base 3 times. A walk, a double, and a single. He had a double against Dane St. Clair, leading things off in the 6th. Bats here in the 7th with 2 outs and 1 on. He takes low for a 2-0 count.
9-6 now. That 3-run differential is a pretty big one. That was a big, big run for Eugene.
The 2-0. Ground ball, third base side, playing it in foul territory. Couldn't backhand it, but it is a foul ball. Daniel Withers back to his spot. So 1 run in here in the 7th so far on 3 hits against Dane St. Clair. On the hook for the loss at the moment is Caden Rygard, who saw just 2 batters and walked them both. 2-1 pitch. In for a strike. And at the plate, Brock Johnson's trying to say he got hit by the pitch. And all of the Eugene coaches are screaming the same thing, and now we're going to get a call together from the crew.
Well, breaking ball that came inside, and the hitter immediately, Johnson started to reach for his pad on his elbow. Now, it's actually kind of convenient. The two of them can talk and then say, I'm going to change that anyway. Whether the infield ump knew or not, it gives the umpires a second to cover themselves and go, okay, we're going to give it to him. And now, Tim Sestair or...
Yeah, that's Sestair out.
Asking for an explanation of that. Like, why would you have to ask the infield ump if you're standing right there and you're close to it? He can't tell if he got hit by the pitch or not. You would have been able to hear that as the home plate umpire. And if he got hit by a pitch, wouldn't you know it? So either a great acting job by Brock Johnson or he was really hit by the pitch. But the way he reacted, I was thinking he probably got hit.
So it'll be first and second with 2 away, and here comes the part of the order that you were hoping you didn't have to deal with here in the 7th. The 3-hitter, Grady Saunders. He's actually 0 for 2 in the game, but he's been hit by a pitch and walked and scored twice. He lays down a bunt, and it goes foul first base side. Grady also launched one deep to center field in the 2nd inning that Dane St. Clair was able to track down. St. Clair also struck him out. So it has been Dane St. Clair that has gotten Brock Johnson, whether as a center fielder or a pitcher. Pitch bounces in the dirt. Runners are off the bag. Out at second base. No throw for Cal. Out at second, Landon Lay way off the bag looking for that bunt laid down by Saunders.
Yeah, both of those runners were daring Robbins to throw down to a base.
1-1 count. Runners again well off the bag. They are trying to play some small ball, see if they can lay down the bunt to be able to move the runners and get a man on base. I mean, they're not playing for the sac bunt here with 2 outs. They are trying to bunt for a hit and see if they can confuse the Docs defense. And that will be a strike as Saunders out of the box trying to push a bunt towards first.
That was unusual. That's not something you see in hardball. You see that in softball a lot. The runner just runs at the ball and tries to knock it down.
2-2 count for Dane St. Clair with 2 outs and 2 on. Showing a bunt again is Saunders. They're committed to it. He does lay it down in front of the mound, picked up by St. Clair, throw it to first, and that will wrap things up here in the 7th. So a bunt attempt for Grady Saunders, can't get him on, and that leaves 2 men stranded on base. But 1 run comes in the top of the 7th for Eugene, and they lead it by 3, 9-6 as we head to the bottom of the 7th on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Johnson Lumber Company, a forward-thinking family company, has been operating in the Douglas County community for over 60 years. Founded by Don R. Johnson, the man who set the tone of commitment to these local communities by providing stable, long-term employment. D.R. Johnson Lumber Company understands the significance of investing in our youth because they are the foundation of our future. That's why they're a proud supporter of Roseburg Dr. Stewart's. Come watch the Docs swing some lumber with D.R. Johnson Lumber Company. Go Docs!
Brook Communications radio stations have joined forces with the News Review and Lotus Web Services, announcing the Lotus Media Group, a multimedia enterprise. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with LotusMediaGroupLLC.com.
Financial security allows you the freedom to take stock of what's important and build lasting bonds. We share your goals. Trust Palm Wealth Management to consolidate your investments and generate income for those who need you most. Call Palm Wealth Management today.
Docs baseball and coverage of the Docs brought to you by Evergreen Family Medicine. Expect the unexpected at Evergreen Family Medicine. Serving Roseburg, Myrtle Creek, and Sutherland, Evergreen offers more than traditional primary care. You can always expect more from Evergreen. Oh, the Doc Stewarts down to their final 3 outs. It'll be St. Clair, then it'll be Shaver and Wirtz. The 3 men due up. And the first pitch from Grady Saunders is low for ball 1.
Now batting number 13,
Dane St. Clair, the pitcher. Grounder up the middle, diving, and it gets under the glove for Jalen Riddle. A leadoff single here in the 7th for the Doc Stewarts. So on base safely goes St. Clair. Grounds one through the middle, past the second base side of the bag. And a man on to get things started for the Doc Stewarts. Their 9th hit in the ball game. Swing and a miss. Ryan Shaver, the man who took over in left field, gets a chance to bat here. Shaver's first at-bat of the day facing Grady Saunders. Takes a strike at the knees, falls behind 0-2. Count at first base, Dane St. Clair. Ball poked right side, goes foul. Trying to keep up with the speed of Grady Saunders. Ryan Shaver was behind on that fastball. The 0-2 count, nope, pickoff throw, but after seeing Daniel Withers picked off in the 6th, out at first base, Dane St. Clair needs to be on bag, and he does not have a big lead. Easily dives back in. 0-2, high.
Good take there. You get 0-2, you get a little defensive, and then you see the high stinky cheese. It's so hard to stay off of that.
1-1 to make that a 1-2 delivery. And a nice job by Shaver to stay alive. Got just enough of that one to stay in the box. On deck will be Danner Wirtz and then Fletcher Coleman. The 8-9 hitters have been on base 4 out of 6 times. And they're trying to send it back to the top of the order. The 1-2 once again to Shaver. Breaking ball, he swung, got a piece of it. Not an easy play. Throw by Saunders will be on target. Does move the runner up, though, and they stay out of the double play. So Shaver in his first at-bat, at least a productive out, but the Docs are down to their final 2 outs here in the 7th, trailing by 3.
That was good. He fouled a couple pitches off. He got behind 0-2, stayed alive with it, put it in play. I mean, that forced Saunders to field his position and make a really good throw. All in all, not too bad.
Danner Wirtz stands in. 1 for 2 today. He swings at the first pitch. Can't catch up to some outside fastball heat there.
Had some tail on it for sure, away from the right-hander.
Here in the bottom of the 7th, game 1 of our doubleheader. In between games, we'll have about a 20, 30-minute break. Pitch in for a strike, and Wirtz is behind 0-2 as he watches it go by. (0-2) count. 1 down. Game-tying run is the on-deck hitter at the moment. Out at second base is Dane St. Clair. Fought off the 0-2 pitch. Kind of following the same suit here for Danner Wirtz that we saw for Ryan Shaver. Shaver fouled off an 0-2 pitch. Had a play down the right side, behind on the fastball. Can Danner Wirtz find a way on base? The 0-2 out of Saunders. Nope, could not. Swing and a miss. Got fooled on the outside pitch. Breaking ball gets him to go down swinging. And their Doc Stewarts are down to their final out here in the 7th.
2, Fletcher Coleman.
The 9-hitter Fletcher Coleman, a fielder's choice, and a single for him. Also struck out in the 3rd. Grounds one right side and pokes it through. St. Clair's going to hold at 3rd. Up in right field, Kyle Miller throwing. Throw goes into Connor Clift, who chases Fletcher Coleman back to the bag. Fletcher with his 2nd hit of the game. Sends it back to the top of the order and keeps some life in this one for the Doc Stewarts.
Yeah, nice job there. You figure Saunders has been right around the plate with that fastball, and he just took a good hack at it, pulled it through the right side. Seems like a simple game.
Doc Stewart's with their 10th hit in the ball game, matches what Eugene has, but they're trailing by 3 in the run column. Up to bat is the dangerous Paxton Burke, who takes outside. Batting as a lefty. He is 4 for 4 in this game. Drove in 2 with a single his last time up. Saunders 1-0 delivery. Ground ball up the middle, looks playable for Johnson. He races to second, tags the bag, and that will retire the side and finish out the ball game. So the Doc Stewarts fall in game 1 by a score of 9-6. They threaten with the game-tying run at the plate here in the 7th, but cannot come through. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, 2 men left on base. Final score is 9-6. Both teams hold the lead in this one, but it is the Challengers that come away with the W. They'll take a 2-1 lead in the 4-game series against the Docs this year. And we'll see who can take game 2 today. See if the Challengers can win the series or if the Docs can finish off this league series with a split. We'll take a look at all the numbers when we come back after this 3-minute timeout. We'll have the post-game show for you and then get you ready to go for game 2 of our Twin Bill. Back in just a moment on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Of years before county boundaries were drawn, the Cow Creek Umpqua tribe lived on Southern Oregon lands. The Cow Creek were known then for their sense of community. They still are. Today, the success of their world-class casino resort and other Cow Creek businesses benefit our communities. The Cow Creek Foundation has given over $20 million to Southern Oregon charities. The Cow Creek Umpqua tribe, a Southern Oregon tribe and a giving people.
When it comes to finances, it can be hard to know what's in your best interest. Experience the strength of advice at Palm Wealth Management. From education and estate planning to retirement and the unexpected, we can help. Call Palm Wealth Management today.
Find everything you need to enjoy the outdoors, at home or on the road, at Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Our garden center has what you need to create an oasis at home, from patio furniture to plants and everything in between. And whether you're barbecuing at home or tailgating at the game, we stock the best products from Yeti, Traeger, and Weber. Stop by or shop online at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
My wife and I moved to Oregon to raise a family, set our roots, and to have a lot of fun outdoors. We quickly realized that we needed a truck or a rig for the projects that we were doing in our backyard. When we were looking to find a place to finance our truck, we asked our patients, and everyone recommended Cascade Community Credit Union. It was so easy to work with Cascade. Everything was done via email, phone, and we didn't even need to go in. I can't wait to finish up the projects in the backyard, go on more adventures in our truck with our boys, and I look forward to working with Cascade again in the future.
D.R. Johnson Lumber Company, a forward-thinking family company, has been operating in the Douglas County community for over 60 years. Founded by Don R. Johnson, the man who set the tone of commitment to these local communities by providing stable, long-term employment. D.R. Johnson Lumber Company understands the significance of investing in our youth because they are the foundation of our future. That's why they're a proud supporter of Roseburg Doc Stewart's. Come watch the Docs swing some lumber with D.R. Johnson Lumber Company. Go Docs!
Brook Communications radio stations have joined forces with the News Review and Lotus Web Services, announcing the Lotus Media Group, a multimedia enterprise. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with Lotus Media Group, LLC.
Doc Stewart's Baseball this afternoon here on The Score and streaming with our video online at 541radio.com, presented by the Cow Creek Tribe. Docs fall in Game 1 against the Eugene Challengers, 9-6 the final score. The Challengers will win their 6th consecutive game as they improved to 28-2 overall. They're now 2-1 in league play. As for the Doc Stewarts, they dropped their second straight game. They fall to 8-11 on the season. They are 2-5 in Area 4 league play. Again, the final score 9-6. Taking a look at the D.R. Johnson Lumber Company scoreboard update here for one last time in game one of our doubleheader. 9 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors, and 9 men left on base for the Challengers. 6 runs on 10 hits, no errors, and 10 men left on base for the Doc Stewarts. Getting the win will be Michael Bushelman. He goes 3 1/3 innings in relief. He allowed 2 runs, only 1 earned by my tally, on 4 hits with 1 walk and 3 strikeouts. Taking the loss will be Caden Rygard, who came in. He faced just 2 batters, does not record an out. He walks 2 in a tie ball game. Both those runners come around to score to give Eugene the lead, and they would hang on to it the rest of the way. So Rygard takes the loss, gives up 2 runs on no hits with 2 walks and no strikeouts. Grady Saunders comes in and gets the save. He pitches 2 innings, the 6th and the 7th. He does not allow a run, 2 hits, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts as he came in the 6th inning with the game. It was 7-6 at that time, so just a 1-run lead when he came into the ball game, and he does finish it out for the Challengers. It was 3 runs in the top of the 3rd for Eugene. Docs would get 3 runs back in the bottom of the 1st to tie it up. They took a 4-3 lead in the bottom of the 2nd on a single by Taj Flora. The Docs would lead all the way through 4 innings, but in the top of the 5th inning, the Docs go to the bullpen and give up 4 runs in the top of the 5th. Eugene would take a 7-4 lead, but Docs got 2 back in the bottom of the 5th, made it 7-6, but they were shut out the rest of the way, and Eugene would stretch the lead with a run in the 6th and a run in the 7th for the 9-6 victory. Starting pitching, Jake Johnson really did well, but he has been dealing with a bit of a sore elbow. They didn't want him to go too deep into this ball game, and so they don't try to ride him all the way after he really settled into the game and looked really strong after a shaky first inning.
Yeah, there's no doubt he gave everything he had for sure, and you don't want to push it. You know, they're happy to get him back, and he threw a lot of pitches in that first inning, but he settled down really well and looked pretty good. So I feel like from Jake's perspective, he's got to feel good about the effort. Probably, hopefully that arm feels great in the morning, and he's feeling like he's ready to go for the rest of the summer. Showed a lot of promise and a lot of grit, and that was something Tim Sestair talked about in the pregame show, talking about how tough are we and how well can we play after a quick turnaround and disappointing finish last night. And I think this team answered really well. They were unlucky in this game. I was thinking Eugene in that first inning had to feel like they got every single break. There were hit batters, there was walks, there were just these little dink shots that were happening all over the place. And that's how Eugene got off the ground in this one and started scoring runs. That bottom of the first, I think, is probably an encouragement for the coaching staff for the Docs, because the kids could have come out and just, forget it. We're just going to lose this game. And instead they came back, and it started with the job that Paxton Burke did. And here's first at bat. He took it right at Colin Hernandez, the starting pitcher of Eugene, 2-time first-team All-Stater, and the Docs didn't blink, and they came right back. I'm going to look at that. The run that bothers me the most, that I'm disappointed about, or I think is a turning point in this game, is the 2-run double in the 5th inning after Caden Rygard came in and couldn't find the strike zone. It's frustrating for that young man. I'm sure he's feeling pretty bad right now, but again, you come in and you do your very best. What else can you do? But he walks the 2 guys he faces, and then Brady Bousquet just kind of trickles one through the right side. It ends up going for a double. It scores 2 runs that puts Eugene on top. And I realize the Docs scored enough to overcome that, but I feel like that moment, that could have been an easy double play on the infield. The infield was drawn in, could have been a double play. I think the game turns out differently if that play gets made, and it just shot through the right side. Again, Eugene getting lucky or doing a good job, whatever it is, but a key moment in the game right there. And then the Docs get down a little bit. That 8th run that scored 2, I think, was a little bit of a backbreaker. It was a big run for Eugene to stretch the lead back out from 1-2. With that 8th run in the 6th inning.
Doc Stewart's now 8-11 on the season, and for Eugene, they are 28-2. Jake Johnson goes 4 innings, allowed 3 runs on 3 hits with 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, and 3 hit batters. After that 3-run first inning for Eugene, Jake did not give up a hit or a run over his final 3 innings of work. Paxton Burke also came in, pitched 1 inning, allowed 2 runs on 3 hits. Dane St. Clair gave up 2 runs on 4 hits over 2 innings with a walk, a strikeout, and 1 hit batter. Colin Hernandez, who had a win against the Docs earlier in the season, allowed 4 runs on 4 hits with 5 walks and 1 strikeout. He only lasted an inning and 2/3 in the start, but Michael Bushelman, who goes 3 1/3, allowed 1 earned run on 4 hits with 1 walk and 3 strikeouts. He did a nice job to settle things down for Eugene out of the bullpen. Grady Saunders, no runs on 2 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts over 2 innings of work.
So Bushelman gets the win.
Bushelman with the
Saunders
win. Saunders with the save. And Rygaard.
Unfortunately, was it Rygaard?
Rygaard, yeah, because he gave up the go-ahead runs. It was a tied game when Jake Johnson exited.
Okay.
So, yep. So it's Rygaard with the loss there. Taking a look at some of the offensive numbers here real quick. 10 hits in the ballgame for the Challengers. Landon Lay had a base knock in his final at-bat, goes 1 for 4, was hit by a pitch as well. Brock Johnson was 2 for 3 in this one, scored 3 times, hit by a pitch, walked as well. Grady Saunders goes 0 for 3, did get hit by a pitch and walked and scored twice. Brady Bousquet goes 1 for 3 in this one with a 2-run double, scored twice, also had a walk. Kyle Miller was 1 for 3 in the game with a RBI single and an RBI sac fly. Connor Clift was 1 for 2 with an RBI single in the first, walked twice and scored a run. Jalen Riddle goes 1 for 4 with a double in the 7th, scored a run, also had an RBI and a fielder's choice in the first. Caden Gould was 2 for 3 in the game with a pair of RBI on 2 singles in his last 2 at-bats, also hit by a pitch. And then Luke Wheeling was 1 for 4 in the game with a single in the 5th inning, had 2 strikeouts. Doc Stewart's Paxton Burke had 4 hits, goes 4 for 5, drove in a pair, scored a run. He had all 4 singles. Logan Anderson 0 for 2, but reached on a walk and scored a run. Also reached on an error. That was a sac bunt attempt. Cal Robbins was 0 for 2 in the game, walked twice and scored twice, but did hit into a double play and struck out. Daniel Withers 0 for 1 with 3 walks and an RBI. Taj Flora was 2 for 4 with a pair of singles, drove in 3. Dane St. Clair was 1 for 4, reached on an error and scored once, also had 2 strikeouts. The 7-hole was 0 for 4 in this one. Jake Johnson 0 for 2. Then Tegan Sprague and Ryan Shaver go a combined 0 for 2. Danner Wirtz was 1 for 3 in the game with a single, a walk, and a run scored. And Fletcher Coleman goes 2 for 4 out of the 9-hole with a pair of singles. Got on base 3 times in this one, did have a strikeout. So that's a look at the numbers in Game 1 of our doubleheader. We'll have Game 2 coming up here in just a few. We're going to take a timeout here. We're going to go for back in the studio. Grady Hamilton is back there. Grady, we'll just replay that 3-minute break as we set up our second game of the day. So just replay the last one we had there on the radio side as we get squared away for the second game of the day. For those that are watching online, thanks for tuning in and joining us there. It is brought to you by the Cow Creek Tribe. We will start a new broadcast for Game 2, so head back to our YouTube channel, and you'll find the next broadcast starting here in a few moments. If you're on 541radio.com, just refresh the page here in a few, and the new broadcast should be ready to go here momentarily. We'll go ahead and wrap up Game 1. Game 2 coming up here in just a few, so stay with us, folks, as we continue on with Doc Stewart's Baseball this afternoon. Are you wrapping up, or you're coming? You're here? Okay. You're just making sure. You're just untangling. Okay. I was going to give you a shout-out. Thanks for coming and joining us if you were wrapping up. But Brian Prowse will be here as we continue on as well. So stay with us, folks. Game 2 coming up in just a few moments on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM. Copy that.
I knew that might happen, but I also thought